Chapter 234. When did it start? Su Jiran asked worriedly. Her illness was similar to her mother's, so she did not want to hide it. After I committed suicide and was saved. You're a psychiatrist. Haven't you cured many patients? Su Jiran was confused. He did not believe Baya when she said that she was mentally ill and did not take it seriously. He was really scared just now. A doctor can't cure himself. I've tried to hypnotize myself many times, but I've failed. So, I always carry two kinds of medicine in my bag. One is sleeping pills, and the other is chlorpromazine. Chlorpromazine is a sedative that is very effective for mania, but it has a lot of side effects. It's toxic and can only be excreted after 6 hours. So, I can't take it twice in a row within 6 hours, or it will cause high intraocular pressure and depression. So, I can't sleep for a long time and have severe insomnia. After using the sleeping pills for a long time, I'll become dependent. I don't think I'll live to old age. Even if I do, I'll have dementia. I won't know anyone and will be immersed in my own thoughts. I won't even know that I've lost control of my bowels. Even if you talk to me, I won't be able to hear you. It's more annoying than being in a vegetative state, Baya said calmly. Su Jiran's heart ached terribly. Baya was good at studying since she was young. Even when she went to university and had to work to earn money, she was still the first in her class and received scholarships every year. How could such a smart girl get dementia when she was old? He knew by Bing's situation. It can be cured, right? Su Jiran frowned. I don't know. Maybe the future is more advanced. The future is too far for me, so I never think about it. Baya took a deep breath and looked at him. Su Jiran, are you willing to give me the child? Su Jiran was furious. He held Baya's shoulder. Are you still stubborn? Who made you commit suicide? Who gave you this illness? It's not me, it's Gu Lingqing. If you stay with Gu Lingqing, your illness will worsen. Let me tell you, Zhou Hailan has a child too. The child belongs to Gu Lingqing. Baya's calm eyes wavered. What did you say? How is that possible? Zhou Hailan told me that the child was born after she was gang-raped when she was imprisoned. Why do you think those people injected Gu Lingqing with an aphrodisiac 6 years ago? Gu Lingqing ran away and didn't have sex with Zhou Hailan, but he had sex with you. After those people went, they collected Gu Lingqing's J fluid and made Zhou Hailan pregnant. They wanted to have Gu Lingqing's child, so that they could use it to threaten Gu Lingqing in the future, Su Jiran said firmly. Baya's brain exploded. She staggered backward. Su Jiran didn't hold her hand tightly and she almost fell. She held on to the pool. She suspected that Zhou Hailan was lying when he said that he was raped. Zhou Hailan should know that the child belonged to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing didn't know. So, Zhou Hailan wanted to bring the child out through her hands. Then, Zhou Hailan would say that she was raped and make Gu Lingqing feel guilty. She felt a headache just thinking about it. Gu Lingqing was a very responsible person. If Zhou Hailan had his child and was raped because of him, his decision might change. She couldn't bear his change. She would really go crazy and never wake up again. Suddenly, she didn't want to struggle anymore. She wanted to live a quiet life. She wanted a home, a place where she felt warm and cozy. A place where she knew where she should go after a busy day. I choose my child, Baya said gently. She lowered her eyes and let out a sigh. Su Jiran was emotional. He hugged Baya. I will take good care of you. I won't let you get hurt again. It's okay if you can't have children. We have little Tian, and that's enough. Is Zhou Hailan a spy? Baya asked again. I don't think so. I've checked on her past. She completed many missions outstandingly. If she's a spy, it's impossible for her to work for the country and complete her missions smoothly. Why do you ask? Su Jiran didn't understand. Bai Ye's lips twitched. Because of prejudice. I don't think she's a good person. Instead, I think Xia He is a good person. Moreover, Zhou Hailan lied to me. She should know that Gu Lingqing didn't have sex with her. She should have been raped. After she fainted, she was injected with Gu Lingqing's J fluid, Su Jiran explained. How do you know so clearly? It's as if you saw it with your own eyes. Bai Ye raised her doubts. I caught a fish that slipped through the net. He said everything, including the fact that the child is Gu Lingqing's. But, Zhou Hailan was raped. They couldn't be sure whose child it was, right? Bai Ye was doubtful. That's because the people before him all used condoms. Of course, they could be sure that the child was Gu Lingqing's. Zhou Hailan fainted. They didn't know what happened after that. Then why didn't they let Zhou Hailan know that the child was Gu Lingqing's? Zhou Hailan should really want to give birth to Gu Lingqing's child. Weren't they afraid that Zhou Hailan would lose the child? Bai Ye still didn't believe that Zhou Hailan was a good person. It's not like that. Zhou Hailan was raped in the past. She was very afraid of being raped again. Therefore, the pregnancy was a protective umbrella for her. She wouldn't lose the child. On the contrary, she would protect the child well and not let herself be raped again. But, if Zhou Hailan knew that the child was Gu Lingqing's, then she would know that those people wanted to harm Gu Lingqing. She loved Gu Lingqing very much. For Gu Lingqing, she would disfigure herself and burn herself to death. Therefore, she wouldn't keep the child. Since those people got Gu Lingqing's child, why didn't they let anyone else have the child? Why did they let Zhou Hailan have the child? Bai Ye scrutinized Su Jiran's eyes. That's because they thought that the child was Zhou Hailan's. That's why Gu Lingqing would have a special feeling of pity for the child. If the child was theirs, according to Gu Lingqing's upright and plain-spoken character, she wouldn't have been merciful. Su Jiran analyzed. Bai Ye's eyes flickered, and her eyebrows slightly furrowed. There was no logical flaw in what Su Jiran said. Perhaps she really had a prejudice against Zhou Hailan, so she misunderstood her and looked at this woman with prejudice. Since Zhou Hailan was a good person and not a spy, she was not worried that Gu Lingqing would be in danger. Su Jiran, can you give me some time? I'm already married to Gu Lingqing. I want to divorce first and then go with you. I'll only go with you for 3 years. After 3 years, you can't force me to stay or leave. Can you agree? Bai Ye made the final negotiation. Chapter 235. I still have things to do. Give me 3 months. Bai Ye was very determined. She had given up halfway through many things. Her love for Su Jiran, her love for Gu Lingqing, and her work. Now that she had faked her death, she could no longer stay in City A. She wanted to do something to avoid leaving any regrets. Okay, I'll give you 3 months. I'll send little Tian away in 3 months. Bai Ye, don't do anything that you'll regret, and don't let Gu Lingqing know about it. Otherwise, there's no turning back. Su Jiran reminded her. Bai Ye nodded. I'm going back. I'll go to Jinyuan City tomorrow. I'll send you back to the military base. Su Jiran opened the door of the washroom. It's okay. I can go back by myself. Bai Ye looked at little Tian. He sat on the chair obediently and looked at them like a child who was afraid of being abandoned. Bai Ye walked up and kissed little Tian on his forehead. I have some things to deal with. Little Tian, wait for me for a few months. From now on, we won't be separated anymore. Little Tian jumped down from the chair and hugged Baya. I have a mother now. I won't be bullied anymore. Even if I have to live under a bridge with you, I'll feel very happy. Baya rubbed little Tian's head. I have money. I won't let you live under a bridge with me. I'll let you go to school, study, find a wife, and be a useful person. Okay. As long as you don't want little Tian, I'll listen to you, little Tian said in a childish voice. Baya kissed little Tian on his forehead again and walked to the door. Su Jiran called a taxi. Baya got into the car and left. She leaned on the chair in a daze. Her mind was filled with Su Jiran's words. 3 months later, she would be with little Tian and live a peaceful and warm life. Perhaps this was the happiest life. Her phone rang. She saw that it was Gu Lingqing's call and picked it up. When will he arrive? Gu Lingqing asked softly. 1 or 2 hours. What's wrong? Baya looked outside and tried to determine where he was. My mom asked you out for dinner. Since you didn't want to go, I rejected her for you. You can go, Baya agreed. Previously, when she wanted to be with Gu Lingqing, she would think before she spoke and did things. Now that she was leaving, it didn't matter anymore. She didn't want to put Gu Lingqing in a difficult position. Then don't come back yet. I'll see you in 2 hours at the famous Jiangnan restaurant in Shuiyu International. Okay. Baya hung up the phone. Anyway, she didn't have much luggage. She could go back to pack after dinner. She first went to Shuiyu International and bought 3 sets of clothes, some cosmetics, and a lipstick for Song Shiyu. After she bought it, she went to the famous restaurant in Jiangnan. Song Shiyu also happened to arrive, and the two of them bumped into each other. Baya nodded politely. Follow me. Song Shiyu maintained her arrogance and entered the private room. She passed the menu to Baya. Order whatever you like. I'm not particular about food. You can order. Baya passed the menu to Song Shiyu. Song Shiyu felt that the current Baya was a little strange. She didn't have the sharpness in the morning. She seemed a lot gentler. She frowned slightly and sketched on the menu. 3 minutes later, she passed it to the waiter. The waiter went out to place the order. Song Shiyu looked at Baya seriously. I've thought about what you said seriously. I'm sorry that my words were harsh. Baya took out the lipstick from her bag and placed it in front of Song Shiyu. This color of lipstick suits your temperament and skin color. I bought it when I went to buy cosmetics. I thought of you and bought it. I'm not good to you, Song Shiyu said coldly. When I'm angry, I'll think that you're not good to me. But when I look at things from your perspective, I realize that you've already done your best. You've sacrificed a lot for your family, for your husband, and for your child, Baya said gently. Song Shiyu narrowed her eyes and said defensively, You're trying to please me. Baya smiled. You invited Lingqing and me to dinner, and you came alone. You must be expressing your blessings for me and Lingqing, or perhaps you have something to tell me. Pleasing me won't change your opinion of me. Psychology is really good. You can understand people's hearts and confuse men, Song Shiyu said in disdain. Actually, psychology can't confuse men. There's a scale in everyone's heart. It's just that you can understand each other's thoughts better than others, Baya explained. If I had the right to decide, I wouldn't choose you as my daughter-in-law. But Lingqing likes you. Just like what you said, I don't want him to forget how to love when he has everything. When she said the last sentence, Song Shiyu was a little sad. Baya looked down. Song Shiyu had already agreed for her to be with Gu Lingqing, but she couldn't stay with Gu Lingqing forever. No one can tell what will happen in the future. You don't have to worry about it. Just do what you want to do. Or, the more you do, the more mistakes you'll make. Forget it, Baya said meaningfully. Why do I feel that you're a little strange? I've agreed for you to be together, but you're putting on airs. Song Shiyu was a little angry. I'll take things as they come. Let nature take its course, Baya said lazily. The door was pushed open. Gu Lingqing walked in and saw that both Baya and Song Shiyu were there. Mom. After he greeted them, he sat next to Baya and held Baya's hand. He looked at Baya. Baya smiled. We came 10 minutes earlier than you. The dishes are already ordered. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied. When are you guys planning to have children? Song Shiyu went straight to the point. Yes, what's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked in confusion. I'm not old yet. When you guys have children, I can help take care of them. Let's have a wedding another day. Song Shiyu agreed with Baya. Gu Lingqing understood why Song Shiyu invited them to dinner. Thank you, Mom. I hope you guys can grow old together, Song Shiyu said plainly and looked at Baya. Baya didn't say anything. She lowered her eyes. Gu Lingqing's grip on her hand tightened a little. Baya looked at him. He smiled. Gu Lingqing rarely smiled. When he smiled, he looked exceptionally good. However, his smile was poison. It could directly poison her heart. It made her heart ache at the thought of separation. In the future, when she was gone, he would probably be with Zhou Hailan. It turned out that from the beginning to the end, she was the passerby, not Zhou Hailan. After dinner, it was still early. After Gu Lingqing put the clothes she bought in the car, he held her hand and went shopping in Shuiyu International, just like a normal couple. Chapter 236. Baya came back to her senses and glanced at Gu Lingqing. She was thinking that she and Gu Lingqing had gone through so many twists and turns and could not be together no matter what. Was it because she did not fulfill her promise to Tang Xiaozhou? After she left, would Gu Lingqing be with Zhou Hailan and forget her again? In the future, where would she go with little Tian after changing her appearance? As she thought about it, her thoughts became more and more erratic and she began to meditate. I was thinking about what happened in Tangqian village and I was a little absent-minded, Baya said with a smile. Gu Lingqing smiled and looked at her lovingly. I didn't expect my mother to agree to us being together so quickly. Your mother actually loves you. 3 years ago, your father kidnapped me and your mother stopped him. If it wasn't for your mother, I might have died. She is not a bad person. She just thinks that you are more suitable for someone better, Baya explained generously. Time reveals a person's heart. They will realize that you are good and they will also know that you are the most suitable person for me. Baya did not say anything and held Gu Lingqing's arm. If there were only 3 months before she completely left, she would also love Gu Lingqing so that she would not have any regrets in the future. Lingqing, let's do a multiple choice question. You have been locked up in a room for several years. When you are about to leave, you can take one thing with you. What will you take with you? The choices are, a teacup, a dog, the diary you have written all these years, a tape recorder. What is your answer? Baya asked casually. What do these things represent? You can ask me directly if you want to know. I will tell you. Other than military secrets, I will not hide anything from you. Gu Lingqing saw something wrong. I am just asking casually. Baya shrugged. You have known me for 6 years. You should know what kind of person I am and what my thoughts are. Testing is not suitable for us. Tell me, what is it? Your condition hasn't been right, Gu Lingqing asked directly. Lingqing, I'm just hypothesizing. If one day, between your child and me, you could only choose one, who would you choose? Baya asked. You. Gu Lingqing said without even thinking. What if you die without the child? Baiya asked immediately. You. Gu Lingqing didn't even blink. Why? Baiya was puzzled. Under the premise of a single choice, I can have many children. You only have one. In terms of feelings, I only have feelings for you. This single choice is easy for me to make. Xiaoya, what about you? Gu Lingqing asked and looked at her with burning eyes. Baiya was silent. Her eyes were complicated. She was afraid that Gu Lingqing would notice something, so she lowered her head. I don't know either. The child was taken away because of my negligence. If I don't want him anymore, he will be too pitiful. Your worries are not real at all. This child is also mine. How could I not want him? Little fool, what are you thinking in your head? You are worrying for nothing. Gu Lingqing flicked her forehead. Baiya twitched the corner of her mouth. Since she had made a choice, she didn't want to be entangled in it. She saw the cinema in front. Let's go watch a movie together. You and I haven't had a good time watching a movie. Okay. Gu Lingqing said lovingly, what movie do you want to watch? I don't think it's literary. Science fiction. Baiya stared at the screen and said. Okay. Gu Lingqing paid, bought a big bucket of popcorn and 2 cups of Coke, and entered the cinema with her. The movie that Gu Lingqing chose was The Rise of the Opposite Sex. It was mainly about a spaceship that had an accident, passed through a black hole, and landed on a foreign planet. There were aliens invading a human's body. It was a sci-fi thriller. She didn't really watch this kind of movie, but watching it with Gu Lingqing felt different. They were like a couple in love, sharing popcorn, watching a movie, and enjoying the sweet time of the two of them. She glanced at him. He was looking at the movie screen, and the colorful light emitted from the screen lit up his handsome side profile. Gu Lingqing felt her gaze and looked at her. What's wrong? Do you want to drink Coke? Baiya smiled. I think you are better looking than the movie. Gu Lingqing's lips twitched. He hugged her shoulders and pulled her into his arms. Baiya breathed in the clean and fresh scent on Gu Lingqing's body. She had thought it through very clearly. Within 3 months, she would try her best to find the murderer of Tangqian village and give Tang Xiaojiu an explanation. After she faked her death, she would never marry again, let alone fall in love with someone else. 3 years later, Su Jiran would let go of her. She would take good care of Gu Lingqing's child. True love was not possessiveness. She knew how to let go, so that Gu Lingqing's life could be a little more relaxed. She had no regrets. After the movie, Baiya sorted out her thoughts. She and Gu Lingqing were the last to leave. I'm a little hungry. Shall we go for supper? Baiya invited. Sure, when are you leaving tomorrow? Gu Lingqing asked. I'll sleep until I wake up naturally. I don't have to work tomorrow anyway. I'm just on my way. I'll go to Jinyuan the day after tomorrow. Tell me which hotel you're staying in after you check in. I'll book a few rooms around you. Gu Lingqing arranged. Sounds good. What do you want to eat tonight? Seafood, barbecue, or food stalls? Baiya asked, looking at the barbecue shop not far away with a smile. Let's have barbecue then. Gu Lingqing pulled her across the road. There were quite a lot of people eating barbecue. After they ordered, they sat in the innermost area. Baiya also brought 2 bottles of beer and 2 disposable cups over. Gu Lingqing took them, opened the cap and poured the beer for Baiya first. Baiya looked at Gu Lingqing with infatuation. Although he didn't talk much and was usually cool, she felt that he was considered a perfect man. He gave people a calm and reassuring feeling. Gu Lingqing saw her eyes and cleared his throat. If you keep looking at me like this, I can't wait to go to the hotel. Pfft, Baya laughed. He was actually quite humorous after being a man of few words. There were 5 people who massacred the village. Other than Governor Qing, LV Xingzhou, and LV Liang City, who else do you think is involved? Baya changed the topic. I just checked. LV Xingzhou is very low-key. He doesn't even have much contact with LV Liang City. If there's someone special, it should be your father, Xing Bachuan. They met recently and chatted for a long time. It seems like they're old acquaintances, Gu Lingqing said awkwardly. Him. Baya smiled. It's not strange if he's one of the people who massacred the village. A person who could abandon his wife and feed her antidepressants would do such a crazy thing. Chapter 237. Baya's heart trembled violently. In other words, even if Zhou Hailan came to him with the child, he would still choose her, right? Unfortunately, she was the one who let go first. Even if they were not together in the future, he would still be the man she loved the most and the man she would love forever. Gu Lingqing, why do you like me? Didn't you say that I'm not your type? Baya said with a smile. You kept pushing me away previously, so I said that on purpose. I felt that you fit my expectations, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Because she was not good at saying sweet nothings, her face was slightly red. I'm quite mean, and my words are not nice either, Baya said self-deprecatingly. Those who speak nice words must have something to gain from it. Even if it's not for profit, speaking nice words to everyone is too philanthropic. I will naturally be on guard against those who speak nice words. As for those who are mean, I feel that what you said is quite reasonable. It's not mean, right? Gu Lingqing explained. Baya giggled. I have a bad temper. It's Taobao's customer service that has a good temper. I don't have a good temper either, so I naturally won't expect others to have a good temper. My figure isn't good either. Gu Lingqing took a sip of wine. You're too skinny. Baya, Gu Lingqing was too honest. However, she liked his sincerity. His words were truthful and trustworthy, which made her feel warm. Then I'll have to eat more so that you won't dislike me in the future, Baya teased. I don't have any requirements for a woman's figure. If they're thin, they'll be fat if they eat more. If they're fat, they'll be fat if they exercise more. If they're ugly, they can have plastic surgery. If they're beautiful, they'll have wrinkles when they're old. What I value is that we can communicate. I think it's good to communicate with you. Gu Lingqing's eyes were burning. He looked at her with burning eyes. These words were very useful to her. All of a sudden, he felt his heart ache. If only Gu Lingqing found their child first. She didn't have to make a difficult choice. He would love their child, and their family could live happily together. At worst, she could accept Zhou Hailan's child. After all, it was not Gu Lingqing's betrayal, but he did not know about it. Baya was too depressed in his heart, but he couldn't say it out loud, so he drank all the wine in the cup in one gulp. Drink slowly. It's not good for your health and you'll get drunk easily, Gu Lingqing said worriedly. When drinking with a bosom friend, 1,000 cups are not enough. I'm happy. I feel lucky to be able to be soul mates with the person I love. Gu Lingqing, you are an extraordinary man. Thank you for falling in love with me, who is full of flaws. Baya poured himself a glass of beer and raised his glass. Gu Lingqing touched her shoulder. When I couldn't find you, I tried my best to find my lost memory. When I found you, I didn't have any regrets when I found that memory. After all, you are by my side. Baya's heart ached even more. What if she died in an explosion 3 months later? The more Gu Lingqing loved her, the more pain he would feel. After knowing the truth, he would hate her even more. Baiya wanted to drink all the wine in the cup again, but Gu Lingqing snatched the cup from her hand. We will drink together for a long time in the future. Don't drink like this. Take a sip. Baiya only smiled, with a smile of being spoiled. She had read a story before. The gist of it was that a woman who had been married for a long time felt that she was living in purgatory in front of her husband who didn't speak much. She searched for passion outside and met a handsome young fresh meat. At the same time, she reunited with her first love at a party. He was now a big boss with a successful career. All three men said that they loved her. She stood at the crossroads of her life and invited her first love and the young fresh meat to her house for hot pot. She wanted to have a showdown, to divorce, to make the final choice. During the meal, she was scalded by the oil in the hot pot, and her hands were red. The young fresh meat looked at her in a daze. Her first love asked her if she was okay. Her husband immediately went to the fridge to get some ice cubes and wrapped them in a towel. He held her hand and helped her to stop the pain. In an instant, she understood who the man who loved her the most was. From then on, she returned to her family and took care of her husband and children. She was more patient, tolerant and understanding. Gu Lingqing was such a person. He was a man of few words, cold and rigid, and was not good at expressing himself. However, his every move expressed his care and love. Gu Lingqing, I waited for you for 3 years. If I ask you to wait for me for 3 years, am I being stubborn? Baiya asked with a smile. Gu Lingqing's eyes darkened, and he looked at her in confusion. What do you mean by that? What are you going to do if I wait for you for 3 years? Baiya leaned on the table. I'm just saying. I don't want to. I'll go wherever you go. You're my legitimate wife. We'll have our wedding when we come back from Jinyuan in 3 months. Don't have any crooked ideas. Gu Lingqing was a little unhappy, and he drank the wine in his glass in one gulp. Baiya was a little worried. What if she died? Would Gu Lingqing die with her? The waiter served the barbecue they ordered. Gu Lingqing blew on the chicken wing and passed it to her. Be careful, it's hot. Baiya took it and took a bite absent-mindedly. You eat too. Baiya's phone rang. She saw that it was Su Jiran calling. She suddenly felt annoyed and hung up the phone. Gu Lingqing took her phone and saw the name Su Jiran. He conveniently blacklisted Su Jiran. I don't think there's a need for you to keep in touch with him, Gu Lingqing said domineeringly. Baiya felt a wave of warmth flowed through her heart. She followed Gu Lingqing's lead and said, That's true. Eat. I'll send you back after eating. It's getting late. Baiya put her phone into her bag, and she frowned and looked outside. Su Jiran's men couldn't be watching her all the time, could they? What are you looking at? Gu Lingqing asked suspiciously. I want to order some eggplant. It looks delicious. Baiya found an excuse. You eat, I'll order for you. Gu Lingqing stood up and went to the ordering area. Baiya took out her phone and sent a text message to Su Jiran. Gu Lingqing is here. I'm eating supper outside. I'll contact you tomorrow. After sending it, she deleted the text message. His heart was thumping, beating very fast. She felt guilty because she had done something bad, but she was more worried that Gu Lingqing's action would annoy Su Jiran. After eating, they went out and saw Su Jiran. He leaned against the car door and curled up the corner of his lips. His eyes were gloomy. He looked at Baiya meaningfully and said, Xiaoya, you left in a hurry and left something at my place. Baiya's heart skipped a beat. She frowned and looked at Su Jiran in confusion. What did he want to do? Chapter 238. A sharp look flashed past Baiya's eyes. She was very unhappy. She stared at Su Jiran. I don't understand either, Su Jiran. What do you mean? Su Jiran smiled evilly. I'm just kidding. Don't take it seriously. I'm going to play cards with my friends nearby. I'll be leaving first. Su Jiran got in the car and drove away. Baiya understood. He was just hinting at her that he was everywhere. I don't like him. Stay away from him in the future, Gu Lingqing said to Baiya. I don't like him either, Baiya said with certainty. The two of them went back. Gu Lingqing was driving. Baiya leaned on the chair and looked at the night view outside the window. If you're tired, sleep first. I'll wake you up when we reach the military base, Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. Okay. Baiya closed her eyes. There were too many thoughts, and she couldn't fall asleep. She opened her eyes again. I'm thinking, in fact, the 5 people who slaughtered the village know each other. As long as we know one of them, we can get the other 3 out. Do you want some benefits? Do you want to use the treasure to set up a trap? I have the same idea. There's no hurry. When I get that piece of land, we'll have plenty of time to set it up, Fu Yuhuang said in a low voice. Baiya really felt that she and Gu Lingqing were very compatible. Their personalities were similar and their thoughts were the same. They could listen to each other's thoughts and would compromise for each other. They were soulmates in the truest sense. She wanted to tell Gu Lingqing about little Tian. Gu Lingqing, do you have any monitoring devices in your car? Baiya asked tentatively. The car will be inspected after entering the military base. There might be monitoring devices installed when we leave the car. What's wrong? Gu Lingqing asked on purpose. I'm just asking. Baiya didn't say anything else. She leaned on the chair and looked out of the window. She wanted to gamble for herself. She told Gu Lingqing about Xiaotian. If Gu Lingqing rescued Xiaotian, she could be with Xiaotian and would not have to leave Gu Lingqing. Their family would be very happy. What if he lost? Baiya's heart skipped a beat. The image of little Tian being so careful and pitiful flashed across her mind, and her heart tightened. If he lost, Gu Lingqing would find a way, right? The car entered the military area. Gu Lingqing parked the car in the garage. Baiya saw that someone really went to check if there were any surveillance cameras in the car. As soon as they entered the house, the security officer ran over and reported, Chief, we found a listening device under the base of your car. Gu Lingqing looked at Baiya. Baiya and Gu Lingqing looked at each other. Let's deal with the Qin first. Is there anything strange in my apartment? The anti-surveillance in the apartment is normal, the security officer reported. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand and went back to the room. Tell me, what are you hiding today? I went to Su Jiran's place this afternoon, Baiya said. And then? He found Xiaotian, our child. Now our child is in his hands, Baiya said. There was a strange bitterness and guilt in her heart. What did he ask you to do? Gu Lingqing frowned. Her eyes sharpened, and there was a murderous look in them. To choose between you and Xiaotian, Baiya explained. Now Gu Lingqing knew why she had been acting so strangely that day. You made the right decision. Gu Lingqing walked towards the door. Baiya held Gu Lingqing's arm worriedly. Su Jiran said that if I told you, he would take Xiaotian away so that I would never be able to find him. Gu Lingqing, I think Su Jiran has influence in your army. Don't act rashly. If I can't find Xiaotian, I won't be at ease for the rest of my life. Gu Lingqing turned to look at her. Her eyes were dark. How much time did you buy from him? 3 months. 3 months later, he arranged for me to fake my death. Gu Lingqing sneered. She was full of disgust for Su Jiran. He really has a way. He can even fake his death. I will arrange it. Don't worry, we will definitely save our child. Baya couldn't be at ease. She knew that she was gambling. If she won, everyone would be happy. If she lost, she was really afraid that she couldn't bear it. Gu Lingqing saw through Baya's worry. He went forward and gave her a light kiss on her forehead. Just pretend that you didn't tell me anything. Do what you want to do. If you do this, Su Jiran will see through you. Baya nodded. She knew that what Gu Lingqing said was right, but she couldn't control her worry. Then I'll go pack my things first, Baya said. She turned around and went to her room to pack her things. After a while, Gu Lingqing also came in. Is it done? Baya asked worriedly. I have a team of dark shadows. They come and go without a trace. I've already given the order. What if Su Jiran's men are in the dark shadows? What should we do? Baya now trusted no one except Gu Lingqing. This is a secret mission. It won't get out. Don't worry, I will let you know if there is any news. Don't worry, the child is ours. I will definitely save him. I swear, Gu Lingqing promised. Baya was a little relieved. However, after lying on the bed, she still couldn't fall asleep as she tossed and turned. Gu Lingqing gently placed his hand on her waist and pulled her into his arms. Xiaoya, have a good sleep. Only when you have a good sleep will you be able to fight with 100% of your energy. If you don't sleep now, you won't be of any help to us at all. Gu Lingqing said. Gu Lingqing's voice was deep, with the hoarseness of the night. She knew that what he said was right. She tried to persuade herself, but she couldn't sleep. She just couldn't. I'm going to the washroom. Baya got up, took her bag, walked to the washroom and poured out a pill. She took the pill and looked at Gu Lingqing in the mirror. He looked at her worriedly. Baya just smiled. Sleeping pills. This kind of medicine will cause dependence if you take it for a long time. I will try to control it in the future, but not today. My thoughts are a little messy and I can't sleep. Baya passed by Gu Lingqing and lay on the bed. Gu Lingqing lay behind her and hugged her. How long have you been taking the sleeping pills? More than 3 years. Baya didn't want to lie to him. Her head was very heavy, so she closed her eyes. Gu Lingqing frowned tightly, and his eyes were dark. He kissed her forehead. Don't take the medicine in the future. If you don't want to sleep, I won't sleep with you. Slowly, it will get better. What answered Gu Lingqing was her light breathing. He didn't know if she was asleep or unconscious. Gu Lingqing's heart ached, and his eyes were very deep. Chapter 239. When Baya woke up, it was already 10:00 in the morning. Gu Lingqing wasn't by her side. She got up, brushed her teeth, washed her face and went out. Gu Lingqing wasn't in the living room either. She wanted to say goodbye to him before leaving, so she called Gu Lingqing. When are you leaving? Gu Lingqing asked her first. In the afternoon, it's already 10:00 now. I'll leave after eating. Will you come back for dinner? If you come back for dinner, I'll cook for you, Baya said softly. Okay, I'll be there in an hour. Gu Lingqing hung up the phone and looked at the test report in his hands. There were 2 kinds of medicine in Baya's bag. One was sleeping pills and the other was chlorpromazine. The main ingredient in chlorpromazine's tranquilizer was mainly used to treat patients with mania and other mental disorders. Why would Baya carry this kind of medicine with her? He recalled that when Baya quarreled with him, she seemed to say that she was sick too. He thought that she was referring to the injury on her chest. Now, it seemed that the illness Baya was talking about might be a mental illness. What did he do in the past to hurt her so deeply? When Gu Lingqing arrived at the apartment, he smelled the aroma of food. He went to the kitchen. Bai Ye was busy wearing an apron. He went forward and hugged her slender body. Bai Ye turned around and looked at him. "You're back. I'm done here. Go to the dining table and sit down. I'll scoop up the food and you can eat." "Xiaoya." Gu Lingqing called out in a low voice. Looking at her bright eyes and white teeth, his eyes were sparkling. "I won't let you down in the future." Bai Ye's heart was filled with heat. "I know that you're a person who does what you say. Let's go out and eat. Have a taste of my cooking." "Let me take it, it's hot," Gu Lingqing said softly and let go of Bai Ye. Bai Ye watched as Gu Lingqing walked out with the dishes. Her eyes were red, and somehow, she felt bitter. Although Gu Lingqing had no memories of the past, she felt that the man she had always loved was back. Gu Lingqing put down the bowl and went back to the kitchen. Seeing her tears, she held her hand worriedly and said, "What's wrong? Was he scalded? I told you not to serve the dishes." He turned on the faucet and placed Bai Ye's hand under the faucet to rinse it. Bai Ye wanted to cry even more. "I wasn't scalded. I just thought of the past." "The past you, too." Gu Lingqing turned off the tap and dried her hands with a towel. "Maybe you've awakened my humanity. During the 3 years you were in America, I also felt that I was cold-blooded. We promised Tang Xiaozhou that we would help him find the murderer and bring the murderer to justice. If we don't find the murderer, we won't be together anymore. So, we must find the murderer," Bai Ye said as she wiped her tears. "Okay, we will definitely find the murderer," Gu Lingqing promised. Bai Ye hugged Gu Lingqing and buried her face in his chest. She felt his warmth and his strong heartbeat. She had experienced 3 years after 3 years before she finally got together with him. In the future, they would never be separated again. Gu Lingqing put his hand on her waist, and a dark look flashed across his eyes. "Xiaoya, did I hurt you deeply in the past? I was the one who couldn't get over it." "It's good that you're back," Bai Ye said in his arms. Gu Lingqing did not ask further. "I'll bring the dishes. I want to eat just by smelling the aroma. By the way, I made your favorite, braised pork with preserved vegetables. Try it." Bai Ye opened the steamer. "Let me carry it." Gu Lingqing covered her mouth with a towel and carried the braised pork with preserved vegetables out. She also made mapo tofu, kung pao chicken, and white gourd pork ribs. Gu Lingqing tasted the braised pork with preserved vegetables. Bai Ye looked at him eagerly. She wanted to know how he felt when he ate. Gu Lingqing nodded. "It's delicious. It tastes better than the food I ate near your school. I must have liked your cooking in the past." Bai Ye smiled. "If you like it, I'll cook for you often." "And our child," Gu Lingqing said as she ate a few mouthfuls of rice. Speaking of the child, Bai Ye's heart skipped a beat. "How's the investigation going on your side?" "The child shouldn't be with Su Jiran, but my people will follow Su Jiran 24/7. As soon as Su Jiran goes to see our child, they'll immediately rescue him. What you need to do now is to keep your composure," Gu Lingqing explained. Bai Ye nodded and accompanied Gu Lingqing to eat. Her phone rang. It was Zhou Hailan. She picked it up in front of Gu Lingqing. "Bai Ye, hello. I'm Zhou Hailan. May I ask if you found my child?" Zhou Hailan asked softly. Bai Ye thought for a moment. "I'm sorry. I don't have the time and mood for now. I'm going on a business trip. I'll be back in about 3 months. 3 months? I need 3 months. I'm sorry, Bai Ye said in a low voice. It's okay. I know. I'm just making things difficult for you. Zhou Hailan hung up the phone. She spoke gently, but Baiya felt that she was quite pitiful. She looked at Gu Lingqing. The person who called me just now was Zhou Hailan. You don't have to worry about her. I've already found a place for her to recuperate. When we're back in 3 months, you can treat her. There are priorities. She'll understand. After all, this matter of hers can't be rushed, Gu Lingqing explained. I heard a piece of news from Su Jiran. There's no need to talk about it. I can't tell if it's true or not. He's not easy to deal with. I don't trust him. Gu Lingqing interrupted Baiya's words. Baiya lowered her head and ate 2 mouthfuls of rice. She felt that she should say it out loud. Su Jiran said that Zhou Hailan has a child and the child is yours. That's impossible. I've never slept with Zhou Hailan, Gu Lingqing said with certainty. 6 years ago, you raped me because I was drugged by the enemy. I fainted and didn't know what happened. Su Jiran said that they took your sperm and impregnated Zhou Hailan so that she could give birth to your child. He then threatened you. Whether the child is yours or not, you just have to go for a DNA test. Baiya said as she looked at Gu Lingqing's expression. Gu Lingqing held Baiya's hand. No matter who the child is, you're in my heart. I'll never let you down. She heard what Gu Lingqing said just now. Baiya held Gu Lingqing's hand in return. I'm your wife. That's your child. Although the way he came to this world is a little special, if you decide to put that child by your side, I'll treat him as my own child and treat him wholeheartedly. Xiaoya, Gu Lingqing called. He remembered that Baiya said before that she couldn't tolerate a grain of sand in her eyes. Chapter 240. He liked what she said. The road ahead may be full of thorns, but we will walk together hand in hand. Marriage was only the beginning of a new life, not the end. After dinner, he sent her to the train station. After greeting the station master, they took the train to Jinyuan City. Gu Lingqing had bought a first-class seat for her. When Baiya was about to enter the train station, she realized that she could not bear to part with him, so she turned back to look at him. Gu Lingqing's lips curled up slightly. Even though they were not in the military, his posture was still straight. He looked at Baiya, giving her a sense of security. No matter how reluctant she was, they had to part ways. Baiya walked into the train and got on the train. Her phone rang. She opened it and saw Gu Lingqing's message. I've booked the presidential suite 2106 in Jinyuan Hotel for you. I'll stay next to you tomorrow, 2108. I've booked the entire 21st floor. The surveillance cameras will be rearranged today. I can't sleep tonight, so I'll be online at all times. Don't take any medicine. Baiya looked at Gu Lingqing's message and felt a lump in her throat. Although it was just a few words, she could imagine how he would say it. Steady, strong, and gentle. He was really sitting on the action. All right, I won't take any medicine. Be careful on your way back. Contact me when you're free. Baiya replied. The train started moving, and she looked out of the window. Her heart was no longer as sad as before. There was a trace of warmth, and she found the joy and meaning of life. She dialed an overseas number. The call was picked up. Senior, I'm Baiya. I have something to ask you. 3 years ago, a friend of mine was injured in an explosion and lost his memory. Can he be treated with hypnosis? Baiya asked humbly. There are several possibilities for memory loss. One is subjective consciousness, the second is brain damage, and the third is nerve compression. If it's subjective consciousness, it means that the patient has chosen to forget. Forced hypnosis can be used to treat it. If it's brain damage, then it'll be a matter for a brain specialist. The third is nerve compression. It depends on what's compressing the nerve. It could be a tumor, a blood clot, or a fragment. I suggest that we go to the neurology department first to determine what the problem is. I understand. Thank you, senior brother. Then I'll hang up first, Baya said politely. Good luck. Oh yes, I have a seminar in a country next month. You should come too. Brother sure invited. Next month. Alright, give me more time. Don't leave after the conference, I need your help. Baya urged him to stay. You are stronger than me now. Do you need my help? How can I be compared to you? Senior brother, you are really good at joking. Alright, I won't talk to you anymore. Call me in advance when you come next month. I will make arrangements for the seminar. See you when you come. Baya felt that the signal on his phone wasn't good. Therefore, he said what he wanted to express. Alright, goodbye. She hung up the phone and leaned back in her chair, half lying down. In the past, she thought that the person Gu Lingqing liked was Zhou Hailan. She didn't care if Gu Lingqing missed her or not. If he missed her, she would feel embarrassed. Her pride couldn't take it. Now, she knew that the person Gu Lingqing liked was her. There were still some beautiful and charming memories between her and Gu Lingqing. She wanted him to remember that their days in the future would only get better day by day. Baya's lips twitched as she closed her eyes. The train traveled for more than 3 hours. At 17:30 p.m., Baya's phone rang. She saw that it was Qing Jinrong's call and picked it up. What's up? Have you arrived at Jinyuan City? Qing Jinrong asked enthusiastically. Not yet. I'm on the train. When will you arrive? I will pick you up at the train station and book a hotel for you, Qing Jinrong said with a smile. There's no need. I have already booked a room online. Thank you. Since you've already booked a room, I won't force you. However, since this is your first time coming to Jinyuan City, I must treat you to dinner. Otherwise, it would be rude of me. After all, you came to Jinyuan City because of me. Baya smiled. You're right. You are the one who introduced me to this big business. I should treat you to dinner. I will arrive at Jinyuan City in about an hour. Come and pick me up. I will treat you to dinner. Let's talk about it when we meet. How could Qing Jinrong let a girl treat him? Baya hung up the phone. Actually, she had a good impression of Qing Jinrong. He was just a businessman, and his ex-girlfriend's father was an expert in geography. She would need his help eventually. An hour later, Baya dragged her luggage out of the train station. Qing Jinrong waved at her enthusiastically when he saw her. Baya smiled and walked towards Qing Jinrong. He took Baya's luggage from her. I will take you to dinner first. After that, I will send you back to the hotel. This is your first time in Jinyuan City, right? Baya smiled and did not say a word. She had been to Jinyuan City 3 years ago. At that time, Gu Lingqing was on a mission in Jinyuan City. It was in Jinyuan City that Gu Lingqing lost her memory. Baya almost died. Jinyuan City was the place where she was sad. Qing Jinrong placed the luggage in the trunk and opened the door to the front passenger seat. Baya sat down and fastened her seatbelt. Qing Jinrong got into the driver's seat and introduced to Baya. Jinyuan City's lion's head and bamboo-wrapped pork are delicious. The most famous restaurant for these two dishes is Savant's restaurant. Do you have any taboos? No. Baya said calmly. She looked ahead and paused for a while. Then, she asked, is your ex-girlfriend's father the best researcher in ancient addresses? Is there anyone else? It's a circle. People in the circle know people in the circle. My ex-girlfriend's father knows more about this. Baiya glanced at him and asked casually, "Why did you break up with your ex-girlfriend?" "I have a bad temper. She couldn't stand it after a long time, so she broke up with me." "I agreed," Ching Jinrong said concisely. Baiya smiled. "Does your current girlfriend know about your ex-girlfriend's existence?" Ching Jinrong was silent for a while. "Are you trying to dissect me? From your expression, I can tell that you are a little regretful. You probably have feelings for your ex-girlfriend. You are still in contact with her father and they are very friendly. This can only mean that your ex-girlfriend or her family also has feelings for you. So, I'm very curious. Does your girlfriend know about it?" Ching Jinrong's face turned serious. "She knows. My girlfriend is my ex-girlfriend's best friend and also my subordinate." Ching Jinrong explained and looked at Baiya. "But when I went to City A to look for you, I broke up with my girlfriend. I'm single now. Looks like you will get back together with your ex-girlfriend." Baiya guessed. Ching Jinrong's eyes flashed with a strange emotion. "We'll see." His phone rang and he picked it up. Baiya saw that he did not look well. Ching Jinrong hung up and looked at Baiya. "I'm sorry, I can't treat you to dinner. My ex-girlfriend was murdered." Chapter 241. I'll go with you. I've helped the FBI solve a case before. I hope I can help you. Consider it a report for introducing the client to you, Baiya said. First of all, that was what she thought. Second of all, Ching Jinrong's ex-girlfriend's father had a special identity. She wanted to use this opportunity to get to know him better. "Sorry to trouble you," Ching Jinrong said apologetically. "It's okay." Half an hour later, Ching Jinrong appeared at the private housing area in the city center. Baiya observed her surroundings. The outer walls of the private houses here looked very old, and each house was 20 meters apart. These people had fences in front of their houses, sat in a parking space, and even planted vegetables. There were street lights and surveillance cameras. The police came to Ching Jinrong's ex-girlfriend's house and even set up a fence. Ching Jinrong wanted to go in but was stopped by the police. The police said sternly, "The police are collecting evidence. This is the crime scene. Do not approach. I'm the deceased's boyfriend. I have the right to see her," Ching Jinrong said angrily. "Jinrong, Jinrong," the deceased's mother shouted. Ching Jinrong ignored the police and rushed in. Baiya followed behind Ching Jinrong. The police hesitated and Baiya went in. "Jinrong, Xiao Wei died so tragically. Who wants to kill her?" Xiao Wei's mother cried. "Where is Xiao Wei?" Ching Jinrong asked seriously. "In the room," Xiao Wei's father frowned and lowered his head. Baiya glanced at Xiao Wei's father's face. He was smoking and his hand was trembling. "Old man, who is it? Who wants to kill our daughter? We don't have any grudges with them." Xiao Wei's mother couldn't figure it out. Xiao Wei's father had a complicated look in his eyes. "I'm going to wash the cigarette." Baiya looked at Ching Jinrong. Ching Jinrong had already entered the room. Xiao Wei was lying on the bed. She was stabbed in the heart. She was holding her phone tightly. The room was not messy at all and there were no signs of a fight. Ching Jinrong wanted to hug Xiao Wei but was stopped by the police. "Don't touch the deceased. You will destroy the evidence." Ching Jinrong paused and looked at Baiya. His eyes were red. "Is that so?" Baiya nodded. "Don't touch the evidence at the crime scene. The more the better. In order to find the murderer as soon as possible, please leave," the police shouted. Ching Jinrong walked out of the room in a daze. "Jinrong, you must help Xiao Wei find the murderer," Xiao Wei's mother said as she held Ching Jinrong's hand. We'll definitely find it, Qing Jinrong comforted her and looked at Baiya pleadingly. Baiya nodded and went out. She saw Xiao Wei's father on the phone. He was so emotional that he even smashed his phone and hit his head against a tree. Xiao Tang, he said. Xiao 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 Ya. Gu, Xiao Tu. Baiya. Cheng, I'm. Xiao, Qing Yen, Lu, Qing, Qing. Su. Not yet. Qing Jinrong's ex-girlfriend is dead, Baiya said solemnly. She glanced at Xiao Wei's father, who was still banging his head against the tree. I don't think it's LV Xingzhou. Firstly, the project is about to start. If something happens now, it will affect the progress of the project. Secondly, they still need the deceased's father, the geologist. They won't do anything to his daughter, Gu Lingqing guessed. I think the same as you, but I can't see clearly because I'm closely involved. I've observed Xiao Wei's father. He feels very guilty, remorseful, and angry. I think he might go to the police station to report LV Xingzhou. Baiya walked toward Xiao Wei's father. It's impossible for him to report LV Xingzhou. The most he can do is to negotiate with LV Xingzhou. If he does that, not only will he alert the enemy, but he will also hide the murderer even deeper, Gu Lingqing said anxiously. I know, Gu Lingqing. Go to Jinyuan City's police station and tell them that I want to intervene in this matter, Baiya said. He hung up and ran towards Xiao Wei's father. Uncle, don't be like this. Baiya held on to Xiao Wei's father. Xiao Wei's father was agitated. I did this to myself and went against my conscience to earn money. But Xiao Wei is innocent. My daughter doesn't even dare to kill a fish. Why must God be so cruel to her? She's only 25 years old, she's in her prime. Uncle, calm down. Give me 3 days. I'll definitely help you find the murderer, Baiya promised. Xiao Wei's father looked at Baiya in astonishment. How can you help me find the murderer? Who are you? I don't know you. My name is Baiya. You can find my information on the internet. I've helped the FBI solve several major cases. I've also assisted many police departments in solving cases. I promise you that I'll find the murderer within 3 days, Baiya explained. Xiao Wei's father looked at Baiya suspiciously. I'm also Qing Jinrong's friend. On the way here, Jinrong told me that he still has feelings for Xiao Wei. Xiao Wei is Qing Jinrong's lover. I'll definitely find the murderer, Baiya continued when he saw that Xiao Wei's father didn't trust him. Xiao Wei's father looked at the door and met Qing Jinrong's gaze. Qing Jinrong sensed that something was wrong. He walked over and asked, Uncle, what happened to your forehead? Your girlfriend's father banged his head against a tree. He's too emotional, Baiya explained. Uncle, Baiya is a famous expert. She can definitely help us find the murderer. Don't be too emotional, Qing Jinrong comforted. Give me 3 days, Baiya said in a deep voice. Xiao Wei's father nodded. All right, I'll calm down first. I want to see who killed my daughter. I want him to die with her. I'll send him back to the house first, Qing Jinrong explained to Baiya. He put his arm around Xiao Wei's father's shoulder and went back to the room. Baiya felt that there was not much point in staying. She would see all the evidence that the police had collected tomorrow. She was not familiar with Qing Jinrong, and she was even less familiar with Xiao Wei's family. It would only be awkward if she stayed. Also, since Qing Jinrong knew that there was treasure on that piece of land, he would not let Xiao Wei's father act rashly. However, he did not know that Lu Xingzhou and Luliang City were in cahoots. The company was also from Luliang City. In the end, his efforts would be in vain. Baiya did not enter the room. She got on the taxi and sent a message to Qing Jinrong. I'll go back first. I'll contact you tomorrow. All right. Sorry. I wanted to treat you to a meal, but I made you hungry, Qing Jinrong replied politely. I understand. You didn't want to. Baya went to the hotel that Gu Lingqing had booked. She went back to her room and laid on the bed tiredly. She thought of Gu Lingqing and called him. Have you reached the hotel? Gu Lingqing asked. Chapter 242. I'm already handling the paperwork. It should be approved within 3 days. I'll use my connections tomorrow, and it should be approved in the afternoon. I'll call you after it's approved. If there are no problems, I should be at your place tomorrow, Gu Lingqing said. Baya smiled. She was quite excited at the thought of him coming tomorrow. They had just separated today, but she felt that they had been separated for a long time. Have you eaten? Baya asked with concern. Yes, I've eaten. I've already made a call. Jinyuan City's police chief will pick you up at the entrance tomorrow. You'll be in charge of this case. All right. I'll tell you the details tomorrow after I read the documents. I've checked today, and there are surveillance cameras outside their room. If the surveillance cameras are not broken, not only will it be easy to find the culprit, there might even be a surprise. Okay, Gu Lingqing replied. There's still 1 minute left. Open the door. Ah. Baya couldn't stop her heart from beating wildly. Could it be that Gu Lingqing was here? She couldn't wait to get out of bed. She walked to the door and looked through the peephole. There was no one. You're here today? Baya asked directly. No, I guess that you must have not eaten yet. Jinyuan City's lion's head, bamboo-wrapped pork, and roasted pigeon are pretty good. I've booked a table at Savant's restaurant for you. Don't skip meals in the future, Gu Lingqing said gently. When did you book the table? So fast. Baya was surprised. I made the decision after I talked to you on the phone. I guessed that you would return to the hotel first. Lion's head and bamboo-wrapped pork are the famous dishes of Savant's restaurant. They've already prepared them. The pigeon is also half-ripe, so it'll be very fast. Just as Gu Lingqing finished his sentence, the doorbell rang. Gu Lingqing laughed. Baya could clearly hear his laughter through the phone. I should be here. If you want to eat and can't sleep after eating, you're welcome to call me. Gu Lingqing's voice was filled with affection. Baya felt warm in her heart. He was so considerate of her. How could she bear to keep him up from sleeping? Got it, Baya answered, hung up the phone, and opened the door. A man in uniform stood at the door and said politely. Hello, your takeout. Thank you. Baya took the food and placed it on the table before opening it. Gu Lingqing ordered a bamboo-wrapped pork, a meatball, a roasted pigeon, a mapo tofu, and a bottle of milk for her. This man was as meticulous as dust. She smiled, full of happiness, and ate a lot. He took a shower and went to bed. He didn't call Gu Lingqing. Instead, he turned on the TV and watched casually. His cell phone rang. She saw that it was an unfamiliar caller ID and answered it suspiciously. What do you mean by this? Did you blacklist me? Did you change your mind? Su Jiran went straight to the point. Gu Lingqing blocked him, Baya explained. Aren't you separated from Gu Lingqing now? Why are you so obedient to him? Why did you blacklist him even after you separated? Su Jiran said sarcastically. Aren't you very resourceful? I just arrived in Jinyuan City today. My friend's ex-girlfriend died, so I've long forgotten that you're on the blacklist, Baya said in an unpleasant tone. Baya, don't tell me that you asked me for 3 more months just to cure LV Xingzhou's son. Su Jiran was suspicious. He promised me so much money. I'm going to be with my son in the future, so I must earn more money. Baiye didn't deny it. You better not have any other ideas. Otherwise, I might not be able to protect you. Xiao Tian misses you. Do you want a video chat with him? Su Jiran said the second half of the sentence in a gentle tone. Yes. Baiye immediately sat up on the bed. Answer it, Su Jiran said. Baiye immediately accepted the video call and saw the little person on the screen. Mom, I miss you so much. Why didn't you come to see me today? Xiao Tian asked in a childish voice. I'm sorry, Xiao Tian. I'm on a business trip in Jinyuan City. I'll be back in 3 months. At that time, we can be together every day. Baiye kept staring at Xiao Tian. Mom, look at the painting I drew today. Xiao Tian placed the painting in front of the camera. Baiye saw the golden sun, green trees, red apples, green lawns, colorful flowers, and colorful butterflies in the painting. On a road, a man, a woman, and a child walked hand in hand. The woman had the word Mom written on it, the child had the word Me written on it, and the man had the word Daddy Su written on it. Baiye took a deep breath. Children's thoughts were very simple. They could express their emotions through painting. When the painting was colorful, it meant that they were in a good mood. When the painting was dark and colorless, it meant that they were in a bad mood. Su Jiran treated him well. But she believed that Gu Lingqing would treat Xiao Tian better. After all, Xiao Tian was her and Gu Lingqing's child. Well done, Baiye praised. Mom, Dad Su not only let me paint, but he also taught me martial arts. In the future, I can not only protect myself, but I can also protect you, Xiao Tian said sweetly. Xiao Tian, where are you now? Baiye asked. Before Xiao Tian could say anything, the video call was hung up. Baiye was annoyed. I shouldn't have been so hasty. Su Jiran sent another video call. Baiye answered. Seeing that it was Su Jiran and not Xiao Tian, she couldn't hide her deep disappointment. Where did you take Xiao Tian? Su Jiran sneered. He picked up a syringe and waved it in front of the camera. Baiye, do you know what this is? What's this? Baiye was nervous. To put it simply, it's a virus. The person who is injected with it will live a life worse than death. In the end, he will bleed to death from his 7 orifices. So, don't have any weird ideas. Xiao Tian can't take it, Su Jiran warned. Su Jiran, are you crazy? Xiao Tian likes you so much. Why are you so cruel to him? Baiye said anxiously. I like you so much. Are you cruel to me too? As long as you don't have any weird ideas, me, you, and Xiao Tian, the 3 of us will live happily together. Su Jiran forced a smile. That smile was meaningful. It was as if he had seen through something. He just didn't say it and waited for her to jump in. Baiye's heart skipped a beat. Xiao Tian was in his hands. It was difficult for her to move. What if she had something on Su Jiran? Then, her chances of winning would be higher. I know. That's all for now. I'm sleepy. Good night. Baiye didn't wait for Su Jiran to speak. She hung up the phone and threw it on the bedside table. Her good mood turned sour again because of Su Jiran's call. Chapter 243. In the past, she would bear all the problems by herself. No matter how big the problem was, she would hide it in her heart and suppress it again and again. Now, she had someone she could trust and complain to. Baiye dialed Gu Lingqing's number. He picked up very quickly. Your call came later than I expected. Are you busy now? Bai Ye was also worried that she would disturb his work. I remember I told you before that in my heart, you are the most important. I will deal with your problem first and then consider other things. Bai Ye slightly raised the corner of her mouth, and her eyes were filled with emotion. In her impression, Gu Lingqing was not a romantic person, but his words always made her feel sweet in her heart, like melted chocolate. The female lead was learning how to drive. When she saw the male lead repairing his car, she felt suspicious and worried. He was seriously injured. Lingqing, have your people found out where little Tian is? Bai Ye asked. Not yet. They haven't reported to me. Su Jiran called me just now. He is with little Tian. I even video chatted with him. Didn't your people follow him? Bai Ye was very surprised. Gu Lingqing was also surprised. You said that Su Jiran is with little Tian now. I will call you back later. Gu Lingqing hung up the phone and called in Ying's people. Su Jiran took off the earphone and looked at the air in front of him pessimistically. His charming eyes did not hide the pain. In the end, Bai Ye still chose Gu Lingqing. He told Gu Lingqing about this and abandoned him and little Tian. Since that was the case, there was no need for him to be merciful. Su Jiran raised the corner of his mouth, and his smile was extremely cold. Come on, let's fight. Where is Su Jiran now? Gu Lingqing asked. And Ying's people answered, at home. He didn't go out today. Are you sure he is at home now? Gu Lingqing was suspicious. I'm sure. What's wrong? The person from Dark Shadow was puzzled. The child is at his home. Go in and check tonight. Remember, don't be discovered. Gu Lingqing ordered. Yes. After the call, Gu Lingqing called Bai Ye. I suspect that the child has always been with Su Jiran. Sleep well tonight and wait for my news tomorrow. Bai Ye replied, okay. However, she was worried about little Tian and worried about his safety. How could she fall asleep? She tossed and turned on the bed. The feeling of not being able to fall asleep was too bad. She changed into her sportswear and running shoes. She took a bottle of water and went to the hotel gym to jog so that she could fall asleep more easily. The night continued. The leader of Shadow entered Su Jiran's house and pushed open the door to Su Jiran's room. He saw Su Jiran lying on the bed, sleeping soundly. He pushed open the door next to him, but there was no one there. He searched the whole room, but he didn't find the child. He felt strange. He heard some strange sounds in the quiet night. He lay on the ground, and the sound was more obvious, like the sound of a faucet. The person from Dark Shadow understood. He crawled along the ground and searched for more than an hour before he found the door to the basement. He left Su Jiran's house, got into his car, and called Gu Lingqing. What do you say? Gu Lingqing hadn't slept yet. He had been waiting for Ying's call. He took a look at the time. It was already 3:00 in the morning. I found it. There is a basement in Su Jiran's room. The child should be in there. Should we rescue the child now? Please give us instructions. Rescue him, but don't alarm Su Jiran, Gu Lingqing ordered. Su Jiran was a cunning person. He had to be careful in everything he did. The person from Dark Shadow entered Su Jiran's house again and went into the basement. He saw a child lying on the bed. He was worried that the child would suddenly wake up Su Jiran. He sprayed a little ether on a handkerchief, covered the child's nose for 10 seconds, and carried the child. Xiao Tian was still sleeping. The person from Dark Shadow carried Xiao Tian out and put him in the car. He called Gu Lingqing. Chief, I've brought the child out. Where should we take him now? Please give us instructions. Gu Lingqing hesitated. He was worried that if they went to Blue Sky Courtyard, Su Jiran would bring people to snatch the child. Anyway, the child belonged to him and Bai Ye. Bai Ye was his legitimate wife. It would be safer to put the child in the military base. Bring him to the military base. 2 hours later, Gu Lingqing saw Xiao Tian. At first glance, he really looked like Bai Ye, and also a little like him. Most of the time, he looked the same as Bai Ye. "Chief, please give us instructions." The person from Dark Shadow asked for instructions. "You've worked hard. Go back and have a good rest." Gu Lingqing looked at Xiao Tian and said, "Yes." The person from Dark Shadow left Gu Lingqing's apartment. Gu Lingqing covered Xiao Tian with a quilt and looked at the time. It was 5:30 in the morning. He didn't know if Bai Ye had woken up. He thought for a while and didn't call Bai Ye. Instead, he sent a message. "Xiao Tian has been rescued. He's safe in the military base now." Bai Ye couldn't sleep at all. Even after running for an hour and lying on the bed, she still couldn't sleep. When she saw Gu Lingqing's message, she sat up. She couldn't hide the joy in her eyes. She called Gu Lingqing. When Gu Lingqing saw Bai Ye's call, he immediately lowered his volume. He only answered the call after he felt relieved. He lowered his voice and said, "Did I wake you up?" "No. Xiao Tian wasn't injected with the virus when he was with you, right?" Bai Ye said worriedly. "I don't think so. He slept very well." "You didn't wake up. Don't tell me you didn't sleep for the whole night." Gu Lingqing said worriedly. "No, I woke up too early. Can I take a look at Xiao Tian?" Just 1 minute, just 1 minute." Bai Ye begged. She couldn't believe it was real. She actually rescued Xiao Tian so easily. Everything seemed to be in a dream. "You can video call me later," Gu Lingqing said dotingly. Bai Ye pressed the video call button. Gu Lingqing picked up the call. He pushed the door open and entered the room. The camera was pointed at Xiao Tian, who was sleeping soundly. Bai Ye covered her mouth and smiled. Because she was too happy, her eyes were filled with tears. They were tears of happiness. She and Gu Lingqing could finally be together in peace. She always felt uneasy without Xiao Tian being rescued. Gu Lingqing saw Bai Ye crying. He smiled, stood up and walked out of the door. "Now that you've seen him, you should be relieved. It's still early. Sleep a little more." "Okay," Bai Ye replied. "Hurry up and sleep." Gu Lingqing hung up and kept his phone. He was also prepared to sleep for 2 hours. There were more important things to do tomorrow. Chapter 244. Gu Lingqing had a bad feeling. It wasn't 6 in the morning yet. If the 111 Special Disciplinary Team didn't have evidence, they wouldn't come. The 111 Special Disciplinary Team was responsible for monitoring the activities of spies. And Ying's rescue of Xiao Tian was too smooth. It was so smooth that he felt there was something wrong. Sure enough. "Let them in," Gu Lingqing said in a low voice. 8 people from the 111 Special Disciplinary Team came. They all looked serious and unhappy. They showed their credentials to Gu Lingqing. "Someone reported that you took away a name list by force." "What name list?" Gu Lingqing didn't know. The Special Disciplinary Team looked at the guard. Gu Lingqing waved his hand. "Leave." The guard knew it was a military secret. He didn't dare to stay. He left quickly and closed the door. The Special Disciplinary Team said, "It's a name list of the spies from the Ministry of State Security." "Why do I need this name list?" Gu Lingqing asked. So, we suspect that you are also working as a spy for other countries, the special disciplinary team said seriously. My father is the vice president. I'm a general, the chief of the special forces. I'm a popular candidate for the presidential election. Do you think I would be a spy? Gu Lingqing retorted. Chief, we're just doing our job, the special disciplinary team said. Sure, please, Gu Lingqing said. He sat on the sofa and closed his eyes. The special disciplinary team was checking the room. The head of the special disciplinary team was accompanying Gu Lingqing in the living room. He looked very serious. After all, Gu Lingqing's identity was special. Chief, I found it. One of the special disciplinary team walked out of the room where Xiao Tian was sleeping. He held a vase in his hand. It's in the vase. The leader of the special discipline inspection team took out the name list and looked at Gu Lingqing. We'll have to trouble you to come with us, Chief. Gu Lingqing looked at the leader suspiciously. He frowned. I don't even know what you're holding in your hand. How can you be so sure that it's the name list you're looking for? The name list is wrapped in special paper, and the paper pulp is also special. Before I came, I received the outline of the name list, said the leader of the special discipline inspection team. Was it your people who put the things in my vase to frame me? Gu Lingqing said harshly. The disciplinary inspector's face turned pale. I didn't. How could I dare? I can't even get my hands on this name list. How could I frame them? Sir, please come with us. If he isn't a spy, he will definitely prove your innocence. But if you don't come with us now, there will be a major agreement, the leader of the special discipline inspection team said. Gu Lingqing stood up, straightened her clothes, took out her mobile phone, dialed a number, and said concisely, help me take care of the kid in my apartment. We'll talk about it when I come back. Asterisk after the video call with Xiao Tian, Baiya fell asleep in a daze. She slept until 10 o'clock in the morning when she was woken up by Qing Jinrong's phone call. As he hadn't slept well, he had a splitting headache. He sat up, massaged his temples, and answered the call. Are you at the police station now? I'm here, Qing Jinrong said politely. Baiya remembered that she had to go to the police station today. I'm sorry, I'll come over now. Baiya hung up the phone and went to the washroom. She splashed cold water on her face to wake herself up. She brushed her teeth, washed up, put on some light makeup, and tied her hair up. Just as she was about to go out, her mobile phone rang again. She saw that it was an unknown number and suspected that it was Su Jiran, so she hung up the phone. Now that Xiao Tian had been rescued, she didn't want to have any contact with Su Jiran anymore. Su Jiran was furious when he was hung up on. He sneered, and a malicious look appeared in his eyes, giving rise to a wave of hatred. Baiya was burning the bridge after crossing the river, right? In that case, he didn't need to show any mercy. Su Jiran sent a message over with a devilish charm. Do you want to see Gu Lingqing die? When Baiya saw the message, her heart skipped a beat. She quickly called Gu Lingqing. Her call was painful, but no one picked up. She had a bad feeling, so she called Su Jiran back. Su Jiran hung up on her. Baiya's heart was beating fast. She called Su Jiran again, but Su Jiran's phone was turned off. Baiya walked out of the hotel in a daze. She pulled Su Jiran's number back into the whitelist and called Su Jiran's previous phone. Su Jiran picked up the call and said in a strange tone, "You're not calm now. Did Gu Lingqing say something about you?" Su Jiran, you were the one who sent that message, right? What do you mean by this? What do you want to do to Gu Lingqing? Baiya questioned, holding back her anger that was about to explode. He was really like a haunting ghost that kept on haunting them, making them irritated. I warned you before, don't think about it. I've been waiting for you for more than 3 years with all my heart. What about you? What did you do to me? Su Jiran was even angrier than Baiya. You can't force feelings. When you didn't like me, I waited for you for 3 years. Did I take revenge on you? Did I hurt your woman? Baiya was very upset. That's because you don't have the ability to take revenge, and you don't have the ability to hurt me. You're just a coward. What do you want? What did you do to Gu Lingqing? Baiya raised her voice. When you told Gu Lingqing that little Tian was in my hands, did you think about the result? When you and Gu Lingqing set me up, you should have already thought about this. I'm not someone you can set up and play with. Let me tell you now, Gu Lingqing has been taken away by 111 Special Discipline Inspection, and his reputation will be ruined. If he's lucky, he'll just be stripped of his military status. If he's unlucky, he'll be identified as a spy and shot to death, Su Jiran said with a smile. You're exaggerating. How could Gu Lingqing be a spy? Baiya did not believe it. He was the most magnificent, responsible soldier she had ever met. How could he be a spy? Even if she said she was a spy, she would not believe that Gu Lingqing was a spy. He stole the important name list from me to carry out espionage. Isn't he a spy? Yesterday, he even wanted to requisition a piece of land. There are military weapons buried under that piece of land. Do you know about this? Su Jiran asked with a smile. There are military weapons under the piece of land he requisitioned yesterday. How is that possible? Baiya was still in shock. That piece of land is in Jinyuan City. Since you're in Jinyuan City now, you can go and take a look around that piece of land. See if there's a large number of armed forces stationed there to clean up the weapons. You'll know if I'm telling the truth after you take a look, Su Jiran said with certainty. Chapter 245. How could this be? How could this be? Wasn't that piece of land supposed to hide the treasure? When did it become a military weapon? Could it be that the treasure was a military weapon? That didn't make sense. That was an ancient map. There were no military weapons in ancient times. Could it be that this was a trap set up by Su Jiran? Which part of the plan went wrong? Baiya pulled herself together. I'll contact you later. She hung up the phone and walked out of the hotel. At the same time, she called Qing Jinrong. Qing Jinrong, I want to ask, where is the piece of land you wanted to buy? Can you send me the address? Baiya asked anxiously. What's wrong? Is that piece of land the key to solving the case? Qing Jinrong was confused. A lot of military weapons were found on that piece of land. Do you know about this? Baiya asked as she walked to the roadside. You said that a lot of military weapons were found on that piece of land. How is that possible? Do you mean swords, guns, or bombs? Qing Jinrong asked in confusion. It should be guns and explosives. I don't know the details, so I want to go and take a look, Baiya said. Okay, I got it. Where are you? I'll come to pick you up and bring you there, Qing Jinrong said as he ran to his car. I'm at the entrance of Jinyuan International Hotel. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Baiya hung up the phone and called Gu Lingqing again. She still couldn't get through. She called Song Shiyu, and Song Shiyu answered. Baiya, ever since you got together with our Lingqing, nothing good has ever happened to him. 3 years ago, he almost died. Now, he almost died again, and he even lost his reputation. You caused my Lingqing's death. Are you happy? Song Shiyu scolded as soon as she answered the phone. Baiya's heart skipped a beat. It seemed that Su Jiran was telling the truth. What's the situation in Lingqing now? It's none of your business. I'll tell you, can you help? No, you will only be a burden. Oh right, did you frame Lingqing on purpose? Song Shiyu was even angrier. Gu Lingqing is my husband. Why would I hurt him? Bai Yi said with certainty. Did you tell Lingqing that Tian is your child? Song Shiyu asked. Bai Yi was stunned. That's what I said. How is little Tian now? You're still thinking about that bastard. Lingqing said he went to Su Jiran's place to look for his child, not to steal the confidential list. However, through the DNA test, the child is not Lingqing's at all. Now they think Lingqing is lying. Very good. Also, are you the one who wants the Lingqing syndrome? Using that piece of land in Jinyuan City? Song Shiyu asked angrily. Bai Yi's mind went blank. How was it possible that little Tian was not Gu Lingqing's child? Could it be that the person who raped her 6 years ago was not Gu Lingqing? Her world collapsed at this moment. You don't dare to admit it. That piece of land is full of military weapons. Lingqing still refuses to tell me the reason why he requisitioned that piece of land. I've asked many lawyers. The possibility of Lingqing being identified as a spy is 95%. You killed him. Bai Yi, you will die a horrible death, Song Shiyu cursed. Bai Yi's arm dropped, and her phone fell to the ground. How could this be? How could this be? How could this be? Gu Lingqing, she couldn't let anything happen to Gu Lingqing. Bai Yi immediately picked up her phone and called Su Jiran. What do you want? Su Jiran sneered. Bai Yi, why don't you believe me every time? You have to ask around before you believe me. Why isn't little Tian Gu Lingqing's child? Bai Yi asked in shock. If you don't break your promise and get together with me, you will naturally see your biological son. Little Tian is just a test. I spent 3 years to make little Tian look like you and Gu Lingqing. Do you think it was easy for me? Su Jiran said coldly. Bai Yi felt a chill run down her spine. It was her. It was really her. She killed Gu Lingqing. She was deceived. She was like a stupid idiot. She judged that little Tian was her and Gu Lingqing's child based on his appearance. She didn't even do a DNA test. It was her. It was her. It was all her fault. What about that piece of land? What's going on? After asking this question, Bai Yi pressed the record button. Su Jiran laughed. How would I know? Gu Lingqing is a spy or the leader of a terrorist organization. It's normal for him to collect some firearms. You're lying. I asked Gu Lingqing to buy that piece of land. Am I a spy too? Bai Yi was agitated. Xiaoya, you pressed the record button. Are you still going to betray me? It doesn't matter if you betray me, but Gu Lingqing must die, Su Jiran said with certainty. Bai Yi broke down. Her every move was under Su Jiran's control. How did he do it? Bai Yi turned off the record button. How do you know all of this? The phone you use is specially made by me. There's no chip in it. I connect it wirelessly. When you're in the military, there's anti-surveillance equipment in the military. As long as I don't connect to your phone wirelessly, I won't be monitored. But once you leave the military, I can monitor your phone wirelessly 24 hours a day. I can hear the status of your phone, the words you say, and the messages you send to Gu Lingqing, Su Jiran explained. He was bored. He had given up on Bai Yi. Her coldness and heartlessness ignited his ambition for revenge. This was good too. He was no longer tied down by his emotions. He could do whatever he wanted to do. Not letting Xing Bachuan go was also an explanation to his father. Bai Yi was dead silent. She had completely surrendered to fate. What do I have to do to let Gu Lingqing go? Divorce Gu Lingqing and let Gu Lingqing marry Zhou Hailan. Then, I'll let Gu Lingqing go, Su Jiran said coldly. Su Jiran said coldly, you better be fast. Within a week, Gu Lingqing will definitely be convicted. How can I be sure that you'll save him? Bai Ye didn't trust Su Jiran and asked. Bai Ye, you don't have a choice. You don't trust me, and I don't trust you either. If I save him, what if you continue to pester him? So, before I save him, I'll inject you with the virus. Only I have the antidote. If you agree, come to my house. If not, it's up to you. I'm hanging up. Su Jiran hung up. Actually, she didn't care about the virus. If Gu Lingqing died, she wouldn't be alive either. Chapter 246. Bai Ye. Bai Ye stood by the side of the road in a daze for a long time. She only came back to her senses when Qing Jinrong called her. She looked at Qing Jinrong in the car, still in a trance. She was reviewing everything she had done wrong. Human confidence came from ignorance, and human complacency also came from ignorance. She thought that she was very smart, and she even thought that telling Gu Lingqing about little Tian was the right choice. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be a conspiracy. She thought that she was smart, that she was not capable enough, that she was nothing, and that she thought that she could analyze things clearly. All her past actions now seemed more like that of a clown. She struggled and lingered on, but all her actions were under the control of others. It didn't matter if she died. There was no joy in life, and no sorrow in death. However, because of Gu Lingqing's trust in her, Gu Lingqing's reputation was ruined, and his life was in danger. It was all her fault. She shouldn't have appeared again. Song Shiyu was right. After she appeared, nothing good happened to Gu Lingqing. If she hadn't appeared, Gu Lingqing wouldn't have liked her anymore. He would have been with Zhou Hailan naturally, and their child would have been found soon. Zhou Hailan also had meritorious service. Since they were able to be together before, it meant that they appreciated each other and were attracted to each other. He would have been very happy, and his career would have been very smooth. She was an unlucky person. Qing Jinrong noticed that Bai Ye was acting strangely. He walked to Bai Ye, but she stood still. Bai Ye, Qing Jinrong called out. Bai Ye looked at him, and the mist condensed into tears, rolling down from her eyes. She was too guilty, too blaming herself, and too sorry. What's wrong? Qing Jinrong asked worriedly. Bai Ye shook her head. Let's go to the construction site first. Okay. Qing Jinrong opened the front passenger seat. Bai Ye walked in and put on her seatbelt. Qing Jinrong was driving. It'll take us an hour and a half to get there. Bai Ye replied. She looked out of the window and her tears couldn't stop flowing. Qing Jinrong glanced at Bai Ye. Did you quarrel with your husband again? Bai Ye said nothing. If you feel pain, then let's separate. Otherwise, it will worsen your condition. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Life is about finding a companion and walking with him. Love grows with time. Slowly, the love for the past will fade, and you will accept the people who accompany you. A person's heart changes. Didn't your love transfer from your ex-husband to your current husband? Similarly, the love you have for your husband will also be transferred to another person. After a year, the problem will no longer be a problem. Qing Jinrong comforted her. Bai Ye smiled bitterly. Even if she had to spend the rest of her life alone, she would never look for another man. Her love was all given to a man called Gu Lingqing. Even if she didn't get together with this man, she would be happy as long as he was happy. When she was young, she would still read novels. The love in the novels was too perfect, and it highlighted the cruelty of reality. In reality, how many people who loved each other were together, and how many people who were together loved each other? After people who loved each other got together, how long would this relationship last? She wanted to cry, but what could she change after crying? Nothing could be changed. If Bai Bing had committed suicide with her, she wouldn't have been saved by her neighbor. Perhaps she wouldn't have been able to see so much cruelty. She would have died with her mother, and there would have been warmth in her heart. At least, when she died, she wouldn't have been so lonely with her mother. She wouldn't have been like this, unable to call for help and living a life worse than death every day. Qing Jinrong saw that Bai Ye's emotions weren't right. He stopped at the side and looked at Bai Ye worriedly. Bai Ye cried louder and louder. Her crying made Qing Jinrong's eyes wet. If you feel uncomfortable, you can tell me. You'll feel better. Why don't we compete and see who's more miserable? Maybe you'll feel better, Qing Jinrong smiled and persuaded. In the past, she was sad because she couldn't get over it. She felt that the whole world had wronged her. Now, she was sad because she had let down Guling Qing. All the mistakes were her own. In the past, she didn't trust Guling Qing, so she was sad. Now, she was sad because Guling Qing trusted her. People were always contradictory. When they came to their senses, it was already too late. Only then would they feel even more vexed and regretful. Bai Ye took a tissue and wiped her eyes. Let's go to that piece of land. Qing Jinrong looked at Bai Ye worriedly and drove. Bai Ye exhaled. It was strange. She didn't act up this time. Was it because she had made up her mind? Xiao Wei and I grew up as childhood sweethearts. We went to primary school, middle school, high school, and university together. We had a good relationship before middle school. We confirmed our relationship in high school. She wanted to get married after university and I wanted to start my own business after university. She waited for me for years and years. My temper got worse and worse until she left. I didn't even try to persuade her to stay, Qing Jinrong recalled. It seems like she didn't really want to leave you. She just hoped that you would care about her a little more and change for her, Bai Ye guessed. I didn't change. Because I got drunk one time, I had sex with my subordinate. My subordinate was Xiao Wei's best friend, so she naturally got together with me. I've been holding back my temper. After talking to you that time, I realized how bad I was to Xiao Wei in the past. She's been waiting for you. So, you want to go back? Bai Ye asked. Yes, I want to go back, so I broke up with Yang and I. Bai Ye looked ahead with drooping eyes. In the novel, the male protagonist would be clean and self-loving. Even if there were misunderstandings with the female protagonist, he would eventually return to the female protagonist and live happily together. In reality, the male protagonist would have sex with another woman. When the male protagonist came to his senses, the female protagonist would have been murdered. I will definitely help you find the murderer. After confirming that there are really firearms dug out from that piece of land, I will go to the police station with you, Bai Ye promised. Su Jiran gave her a week's time. As for Xiao Wei, she only needed 3 days at most. She had promised before. She didn't want to break every promise she made. 1.5 hours later, they arrived near that piece of land. There were many soldiers stationed nearby to prevent people from getting close. Qing Jinrong found a nearby resident and passed him a cigarette. Brother, why are there so many soldiers here? They came in the middle of the night and found a lot of firearms. It's so scary. It's actually near our village. We locals don't even know about it, the resident said. Chapter 247. Before she went back, she bought a new phone. For safety reasons, she changed her phone card number. On the way to the police station, she copied the phone number of everyone she knew, including Soo Jiran, and sent him a message. Soo Jiran received Bai Ye's message and called back immediately. Bai Ye answered. You changed your phone number. Trying to escape. His tone was very disdainful. If I wanted to escape, I wouldn't have sent you a message. I've decided to agree to your request, but I still have something to deal with here. I'll probably be back the day after tomorrow. When I come back, I'll go to your place, Bai Ye said coldly. He still wants to struggle, but he won't succeed this time. The power is in my hands. If I want him to die, he can only die, Soo Jiran said arrogantly and confidently. Soo Jiran, sometimes you're very conceited, Bai Ye said. It's not a flaw, Soo Jiran replied coldly. Ching Jinrong is my friend. His ex-girlfriend was killed, and I promised to help him find the murderer. So, I'll stay for 2 days, Bai Ye explained. You're quite greedy. Gu Lingqing is going to die, but you still have the mood to save others. Do you know how Gu Lingqing feels? A poor man meeting a heartless woman. He can only be sad, Soo Jiran sneered proudly. Bai Ye looked in front of her indifferently. What he wanted to think was his business. She was too lazy to explain. If there's nothing else, I'm hanging up, Bai Ye said coldly. See you tonight. Soo Jiran hung up. Bai Ye's heart skipped a beat. What did he mean by tonight? Ching Jinrong looked at Bai Ye holding the phone in a daze and said apologetically, Is it your husband's? If she's not satisfied with you helping me, you don't have to help. It's not your business anyway. I feel bad for making you fight. No, my husband. Since I've promised, I have to do it. Let's go to the police station first. Bai Ye put away her phone. She was still a little worried. She had asked Gu Lingqing to help arrange for Gu Lingqing to be in charge of this case, but now that something had happened to Gu Lingqing, would it still be effective? She walked into the police station anxiously and knocked on the door of the chief's office. Hello, I'm Bai Ye. Oh, expert. Nice to meet you. I thought you would come in the morning. Welcome, welcome, said the director warmly. Bai Ye heaved a sigh of relief. Judging from the director's attitude, he probably didn't know about Gu Lingqing. It was also possible that Gu Lingqing had asked his subordinates to find someone to greet them. It was a good thing that the news of Gu Lingqing's death had not spread like wildfire. I want to see the condition of the girl who died at home yesterday, Bai Ye said directly. You're talking about Qin Wei. They happen to be discussing this case. Thank you, Expert Bai, said the director warmly. It's my duty, Bai Ye said. The director brought Bai Ye to the meeting room. For a moment, Bai Ye thought of Gu Lingqing's death. Her heart felt stuffy as if she was suffocating. Her body was surging with soreness and pain. She had to wake up and settle this matter as soon as possible. Stop for a moment. This is Bai Ye, a psychologist recommended by the Provincial Bureau. She's in charge of this case. If you have any questions, discuss it with her and cooperate with her, the director cooperated. Bai Ye nodded and sat down. No one spoke. They looked at each other. Tell me about the content of the text message. The victim was holding the phone in her hand. Who was she chatting with? Bai Ye asked. Speaking of this, it's a little strange. The victim died between 1700 hours and 1830. Her family found her dead when they called her for dinner. During this time, she didn't go out, and the window was locked from the inside. Her parents were outside the room, and they said that no one went in. The parents said that no one had entered the room. Lysergic acid diethylamine was detected in the victim's body. It's a drug that can cause hallucinations or coma. However, the victim was with her parents for the previous hour. There were no special symptoms. So, we speculate that the drug was taken by mistake, causing her to hallucinate and commit suicide. At 1700 hours, the victim sent a text message to her ex-boyfriend. It was a very ordinary message, "Where are you?" Her ex-boyfriend didn't reply. "We didn't see anything strange," a policeman said. "Isn't there a surveillance camera outside their door?" Baya asked. "We've also checked the surveillance camera. Between 1700 hours and 1830 yesterday, no one entered or left Chin Wei's house. We also didn't find any signs of fighting in Chin Wei's room." Baya narrowed her eyes. "I don't think so. Who would commit suicide with a phone in one hand and a knife in the other, and there's no special content on the phone? She took the drug by mistake. Her reaction would definitely be abnormal," a policeman retorted. "Where did the drug come from? How did the victim take it by mistake? Did you find the drug at the scene? If you didn't, then this can't be explained. Moreover, if there's something strange in the room, can't her parents hear anything? It's impossible for her to take the drug and just lie on the bed, holding the phone in one hand and committing suicide with the other." Baya imagined this scene. The policeman also felt that it was a fantasy. They looked at each other. "Are Chin Wei's parents still in the police station?" Baya asked. "In the lounge next door." Baya immediately got up and went next door. Ching Jinrong was there. Chin Wei's parents were there. "Uncle, Auntie, I want to ask," after Chin Wei entered the room. "Did you notice anything strange after Chin Wei entered the room?" Baya asked. "No, we were watching TV. Little Wei is very obedient. We thought she was reading a book inside," Chen Wei's mother said. "What habits and hobbies does Chin Wei have?" Baya asked. "She's a homebody. She doesn't go out much. She won't offend anyone," Chen Wei's mother said. Ching Jinrong seemed to remember something. He said to Baya, "Little Wei likes to drink freshly ground coffee. She drinks it when she's in a good mood. She drinks it when she's in a bad mood. I once gave her a coffee machine. She always put it in her room. However, I didn't see it at the scene." "Does she drink it every day?" Baya asked. "Every day after returning home, at about 17 o'clock, she makes coffee and drinks it," Chen Wei's mother said. "Did she buy coffee beans or take the coffee machine out yesterday?" "No. So, it must be a murder. Someone knows Chin Wei's habit. So, between the night before Chin Wei fell asleep and last night at 17 o'clock, someone put the drug into the coffee machine. Chen Wei sent a message to you and drank the coffee. She was holding the phone, waiting for your reply. She became more and more sleepy, and then she fell asleep. At this time, someone stabbed Chin Wei's heart with a dagger and took away the coffee machine and coffee cups," Baya said to Ching Jinrong. "Who is that person?" Ching Jinrong was suspicious. Chapter 248. Chen Wei's parents also went to watch the video. Between 9 p.m. the day before yesterday and 17 p.m. yesterday, no one went to Chen Wei's house, and no one was particularly suspicious. Everything was calm. Baya watched the video 3 more times, but he still couldn't find any suspicious person. Could it be that Xiao Wei bought hallucinogens herself? Impossible. Mei Xiao Wei is very obedient, she wouldn't buy these things. She also has nothing to worry about. Chen Wei's mother said, puzzled. "I'm going to kill those bastards," Chen Wei's father said excitedly. Baya could read his father's mood and thought that it was those people who harassed his daughter. Uncle, calm down, the possibility of your daughter eating hallucinogens is zero. If she ate hallucinogens herself, it's not reasonable for her to hold the phone in her hand, let alone eat it with her coffee. We must have missed something. Baya advised. I've watched the video several times, there's no murderer, no suspicious person. Could it be that the murderer crawled out from the ground? Chen Wei's father said sadly. Baya suddenly understood, oh right, crawled out from the ground, let's go. If the murderer crawled out from the house, there must be a hole. It's been so long, it might not be blocked. Let's go quickly. Baya rushed out of the meeting room, Qing Jinrong quickly followed, Chen Wei's parents and the police also followed. They arrived at Chen Wei's room. Chen Wei's room was only 15 square meters, not big. They began to look for a place to hide. Move the cabinet away. Baya said to the police. The police moved the cabinet to the living room, and a black hole appeared on the ground. Chen Wei's mother saw it and immediately collapsed, my son. Baya's mood was especially heavy. When there's a pair of eyes staring at you in the dark, even if you're in your own home, beside your family, those people will still be everywhere. They will crawl out from the dark ground and use a knife to cut off the life of others. How to guard against it, how to be cautious. Go down and see, where does it lead to? Baya said. The police went down and came back after a while, reporting, it's a dead end, blocked by mud. What's going on? Chen Wei's father asked Baya. The murderer blocked it to prevent us from finding her, Baya explained. Then what should we do? Did my daughter die in vain? Chen Wei's mother said sadly. How much distance is left to cover now? Baya asked the policeman. I walked in for 10 meters, and the diameter of the hole is about 80 centimeters, the policeman replied. The calculation of volume is pi times r2 multiplied by height. In other words, there are about 5 cubic meters of soil that hasn't been dealt with. Moreover, the soil that was dug out previously needs a place to be stored, and they didn't dare to dig it openly. Therefore, the murderer should be in the nearby residential area, Baya analyzed. She looked at the police and ordered, first of all, get all the surveillance cameras in the vicinity. I want the footage from 9 p.m. the day before yesterday to 17 p.m. last night. Secondly, get the police to investigate the houses of the nearby residents as soon as possible. If there's a suspicious mound, it could be the work of the murderer. If they don't want to open the door, or if there's no one at home, it's best to find a way to enter the house and check if there's a place to store soil. Yes. The police were dispatched immediately. Baya sat on Chen Wei's bed and pondered. We'll be able to find the murderer soon, right? Chen Wei's mother worriedly asked. We should be able to find the murderer soon. Moreover, the murderer is familiar with Chen Wei's living habits. The murder was also planned in advance. Baya judged. Who killed my daughter? My daughter is very obedient, and she never offended anyone. Chen Wei's mother sobbed. Half an hour later, a policeman ran over and reported, we caught the murderer. He's in the back row. The policeman reported. Chen Wei's father was the first to rush out, followed by Qing Jinrong and Baya. From afar, she saw a slender person wearing a black hoodie. She lowered her head and couldn't see what she looked like. Her body was covered with soil. Qing Jinrong went up and took away the hoodie on her head. He was surprised, it's you. Who asked her to seduce my boyfriend? You broke up with me because of her. Yang and I roared. I thought you could understand, Qing Jinrong said with an uneasy tone. Qing Jinrong, you're a B** starred. I accompanied you in your business and slept with clients for you. You used me and treated me like a tool. How could you just dump me like that? I'm not that easy to bully. I'm unlucky to have been caught by you. Otherwise, the next person I'll kill will be you. Young and I roared. Take her away, Baya said in a deep voice. You're really amazing. You helped us find the murderer in a few hours. If you were a day late, she would have flushed all the soil out of the toilet. Then, there would be no evidence. She's really a cunning murderer. The policeman laughed exaggeratedly. Baya politely nodded, but her mood wasn't good. Could it be that love is to destroy others and oneself? Then, in this world, who still wants to be loved? The policeman left. The others were immersed in their own thoughts. No one spoke. Baya was the first to recover. She said to Qing Jinrong, "My condolences. Since things have come to this, do what you should do next. I'll go first. It's so late. You haven't eaten, right? Let me treat you to a meal." Qing Jinrong said with a pained expression. No need. Take good care of Qin Wei's parents. They don't have a daughter anymore. They treat you like a son. In the future, they will be your responsibility. Baya said meaningfully. Qing Jinrong nodded, I understand. Baya looked at Qin Wei's father. If Qin Wei is still alive, she hopes that you'll be happy. Don't be too sad. Qin Wei's father looked at Baya. Can I talk to you alone? Okay. Baya replied. Qin Wei's father walked in front while Baya followed behind. He entered the room and took out a notebook from a locked drawer and handed it to Baya. Baya didn't know what he meant and didn't take it. I'm grateful to you. Thank you for helping my daughter get justice. Qin Wei's father said with a choked voice. It's what I should do. Qin Wei's father stuffed the notebook into Baya's hand. Don't tell anyone, and don't let anyone see it. You can go now. Baya had a strange feeling in her heart. She felt that this notebook was related to the treasure, but that piece of land had been taken by Su Jiran. Could it be that there were other details? I'm lucky that I deliberately lied about the address. Hee, ungrateful wolf, ungrateful wolf. Qin Wei's father smiled bitterly and wiped his tears. He was one step ahead of Baya and walked out of the room. Deliberately lied about the address. Chapter 249. Qing Jinrong stood at the door and looked into the room apologetically. He didn't step in. Qin Wei's father closed the door and shut Qing Jinrong outside. Baya knew what to do. The white-eyed wolf Qin Wei's father was talking about might be Qing Jinrong. If the hidden treasure was in another place, it was possible that Qin Wei's father was too careful and didn't tell the person behind the scenes. He deliberately told Qing Jinrong, on one hand, to confuse the person behind the scenes, on the other hand, he wanted to get back his beloved for his daughter. After Qin Wei and Qing Jinrong got married, he would tell Qing Jinrong the truth of the hidden treasure. Exactly where it is. Everything he did was for the sake of his daughter. Unfortunately, his daughter died in the hands of his love rival. When he was angry at Qing Jinrong, he was also angry at himself. He felt that if he hadn't tempted Qing Jinrong with the treasure, Qing Jinrong wouldn't have broken up with him. If Qing Jinrong hadn't broken up, his daughter wouldn't have died. So, in the end, Qin Wei's father gave her the notebook with the treasure information. She was not greedy for the treasure. She just wanted to find the culprit through the treasure. Once the treasure was handed over to the state and the culprit was brought to justice, she would be able to answer to Tang Xiaojiu. What about her and Gu Lingqing? Would they still have a chance to be together? After doing what she promised Qing Jinrong, it was time for her to do her own things. She put the notebook in her bag and walked out of the room with heavy steps. She nodded to Qin Wei's father. Then I'm leaving. Take care, uncle. With tears in his eyes, Qin Wei's father nodded and opened the door. When Baiye came out of the house, Qing Jinrong was still standing at the door. Let's go. At this time, your presence will only make Qinwei's parents feel even worse. Wait until their grief has faded, and you can help them if you can. It can be considered as compensation. Baiye persuaded. Okay. Qing Jinrong smiled bitterly. It seems that I went for wool and came home shorn. I deserve it. Where are you going? Let me see you off. No need, Baiye said indifferently. There were some things that she could only face alone. Oh, okay. As Baiye walked towards the road, she took out her phone from her bag and called Su Jiran. What's wrong? Do you miss me already? Su Jiran smiled evilly. Baiye felt a chill run down his spine. I've finished my business. I'm going back to Sidia now, Baiye said straightforwardly. Are you messing with me? Su Jiran was furious. He was already on the train to Jinyuan City. The case was solved smoothly. I can't decide the time. If you think that I'm messing with you, I can't do anything about it. That's all. I'm hanging up. Baiye hung up the phone. He was going to check out of the hotel first. She passed the next room. This room was reserved by Guling Qing. Originally, they had agreed to meet here. Now, those beautiful words were like a golden millet dream. The more sober she was, the more her heart ached. Guling Qing, wait for me. Baiye looked at the door and said to the air. On her way to the train station, she called LV Xingzhou. What's the matter? LV Xingzhou was in an extremely bad mood. Baiye could understand. After all, he thought that there was a treasure in that piece of land. In the end, it fell into the hands of the authorities. It would be difficult for him to take it for himself. I'm sorry. I have to go back to Sidia now. It'll be a few days before I can come to Jinyuan City again. Qing Jinrong has already told me. Call me when you come, LV Xingzhou said coldly and hung up the phone. Baiye put away her phone. It was already 1848 when she got on the train. She didn't eat breakfast, lunch, or dinner. She went to the train station's restaurant and ordered a 30 yuan fast food. Just as she sat down and took a bite, someone sat opposite her. Baiye glanced at it subconsciously, and her eyes froze. She didn't expect to see Su Jiran so early. Instantly, she lost her appetite. Su Jiran looked at her coldly and smirked. You can eat and drink. As expected, you're quite heartless. You can't feel anyone's kindness to you. Baiye ate a mouthful of rice and said sarcastically, even if I'm heartless, the only thing I care about was used by you, wasn't it? I don't know why a heartless woman like me is worth your nostalgia. You even went through so much trouble to set up so many traps. Su Jiran leaned against the chair lazily. I'm a person who haggles over every penny. If someone owes me a penny, I'll definitely get it back. You wasted 3 years of my feelings. No matter what, I'll waste 30 years of your feelings before I feel a little refreshed. Baiye looked at Su Jiran coldly and put down her chopsticks. She really couldn't eat anymore. I agreed to your request. Why did you let Guling Qing go? Su Jiran's lips twitched. It's a simple sentence. After all, I'm the commissioner of the protection list. My testimony is very important. Baiye knew that Su Jiran had a hidden identity. He was afraid that his identity was hidden very, very deeply. If I agree to your request, what if you can't release Guling Qing? I can let him in, and I can let him out. You have no trust in me at all. Su Jiran shrugged and said indifferently, then don't make a deal. To be honest, between killing you and killing Guling Qing, I'm more inclined to kill Guling Qing. So, Baiye, you didn't negotiate with me. My position on this matter. I want to see Guling Qing. Is that okay? Baya asked. Of course. I also want you to persuade Gu Lingqing to divorce you and agree to marry Zhou Hailan. If he agrees, I'll let him go. Su Jiran put a stack of documents on the table. Baya stared at him and didn't say anything. Su Jiran smiled evilly. Let's eat. After eating, read all the documents. I'll bring you to see Gu Lingqing tomorrow. Su Jiran stood up and walked towards the first-class carriage. Baya took the documents. One was the divorce agreement. Her and Gu Lingqing's. The other was the marriage agreement. It was between him and Zhou Hailan. It said that if either party of Party A or Party B asked for a divorce, they would leave with nothing. Su Jiran's move was too cruel. Not only did he forcefully twist the trajectory of their lives, but he also made her hurt Gu Lingqing again. She was annoyed. There was a surge of anger rushing to her brain. She was almost unable to think. She casually knocked the fast food box on the table to the ground. She noticed that she was wrong. She immediately took out the medicine from her bag. Her hands trembled as she poured out a pill. She ate it and leaned against the chair to rest for a minute. When she opened her eyes, they were clear. Forget it. She was a psycho. The medicine couldn't control her for a few years. She couldn't give birth to a child for Gu Lingqing. She was an unlucky person. One day, she would become a burden to Gu Lingqing like her mother. Her death was not to be regretted. As long as Gu Lingqing could be happy, her sacrifice was worth it. Baya's mouth raised into a smile. Chapter 250. In the wee hours of the morning, Baya followed Su Jiran to his apartment. He took the medicine from the fridge, sat on the chair in front of the dining table, and coldly gestured for Baya to sit next to him. Baya glanced at the blue medicine and the advanced syringe in his hand. She sat next to Su Jiran, lifted her shirt, and revealed her white arm. Su Jiran twitched the corner of his mouth. Aren't you afraid of dying? I've told you before, when the disease breaks out, not only will the whole body hurt like it's being torn apart, but you will also bleed to death. Baya looked at Su Jiran calmly. Life was as light as a feather, and death was as heavy as Mount Tai. Rather than struggling at death's door, it was worth it to exchange her life for Gu Lingqing's. Didn't you ask for the injection? Baya asked coldly. Ha! Su Jiran chuckled. Yes, he was the one who asked for the injection. Was he begging her for mercy now? Begging for mercy would stop the injection. No. Su Jiran's eyes were sharp, and he injected the virus into Baya's arm. Baya felt a chill penetrating her heart. Cold sweat broke out on her forehead, and she felt a little dizzy. In her ears, she heard the sound of her own breathing. She seemed to be in the dark. She couldn't see anything clearly, and she couldn't hear anything. However, because there was a belief in her heart, even if she was lonely, she didn't have any regrets. Gradually, her vision became clear, and she could hear the ticking of the clock. She looked at Su Jiran. This kind of medicine needs to be injected once a month. When the body starts to feel tearing pain, and the nose, eyes, and ears start to bleed, that's the limit, Su Jiran explained. If I keep injecting it, how many years can I live? Baya asked calmly. A crack appeared in Su Jiran's eyes. The thought of her dying made his heart wrench. He looked calm on the outside, but his eyes were slowly turning red. You can live for as long as I want you to. Her expression didn't change at all. How long she lived wasn't something to be happy about. Take me to see Gu Lingqing now. I'll let him sign the agreement. You can let him out tomorrow. It's already so late. Are you sure? Su Jiran asked doubtfully. She could empathize with Gu Lingqing's feelings. He was locked up and accused of being a spy, yet he was still concerned about her safety. How anxious must he be? With each passing day, the torment in his heart increased by a fraction, and the pressure on him increased by the day. The sooner he was rescued, the better. I'm sure. Aren't you also afraid that a long delay will bring trouble? Bai Ye said sarcastically. Gu Lingqing is dead this time. How can I be afraid of a long delay? But it's good to sign the agreement as soon as possible. Su Jiran stood up and adjusted his clothes. He signed it today. Are you sure he can be released tomorrow? Bai Ye wanted to confirm again. He should be able to. Su Jiran smiled and walked out. Bai Ye followed him. In the car, she was put on a blindfold. Why do you have to put on a blindfold? Bai Ye didn't understand. Gu Lingqing's identity is special. The organization is worried that someone will rescue him, which will lead to a bad result. The place where he's locked up is very secret. Even his parents can't see him, Su Jiran explained. Bai Ye's eyebrows were tightly knitted. If that was the case, how lonely would Gu Lingqing be? He would have to face interrogation every day. Interrogation. Even if he was innocent, he would feel sad. After all, he was suspected by the country he was guarding. Bai Ye was sad. She lowered her head and closed her eyes. Her tears wetted the blindfold. She didn't say anything. She held back all her emotions. After an hour, Bai Ye was taken out of the car. She was pulled along. She couldn't see the road clearly with the blindfold on. She tripped on the steps in front of her. Her knees hit the steps and she groaned. Su Jiran's eyes narrowed. He slapped his subordinate's face and said fiercely, "You didn't even remind me of the steps. You're asking for it." "I'm sorry, Commander. I didn't notice." The subordinate covered his face and said in fear. Su Jiran pulled Bai Ye up and took off her blindfold. Bai Ye was a little surprised. Why did people call Su Jiran Commander? Thinking about it, there was nothing to be surprised about. He already had a hidden identity. She saw more than 10 armed guards in front of her. They surrounded the door. The structure of the house was also strange. It was an arch bridge without windows. Su Jiran flung Bai Ye's hand away and said coldly, "Follow me." Bai Ye followed behind him. They went in. After passing through a 100-meter-long sealed corridor, they went down the stairs. Su Jiran turned around and held Bai Ye's arm. Bai Ye instinctively flung Su Jiran's hand away. Su Jiran gritted his teeth. His eyes were sharp. He looked very displeased. He walked forward quickly. Bai Ye quickly followed him. It took them 2 minutes to go down the stairs. The floor was very big. There were 2 guards in front of each door. Su Jiran stopped in front of one of the rooms. He looked at Bai Ye. He's inside. Bai Ye clenched her fists and walked to the door. Su Jiran looked down at her pale face. "Do you need me to go in with you?" "No, thank you," Bai Ye said coldly. Su Jiran sneered. He knocked on the door and turned around. The soldier pushed the door open. Bai Ye felt a gust of cold air on her face. Her heart was also half cold. Gu Lingqing was in such a bad environment. The light inside was very dim. It was like candlelight. She vaguely saw Gu Lingqing lying on the wooden bed behind the iron bars. He did not even have a quilt. No matter how many times you ask, the answer will be the same. The firearms that were dug out from under that piece of land are not mine. Gu Lingqing said in a deep voice. He did not even open his eyes. His arm was placed on his forehead, and he did not move. Baya walked to the iron bars. She held the bars with both hands. Her eyes were sore and swollen. She used all her strength not to cry. She called softly, Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing heard Baya's voice. He looked outside the iron bars in surprise. He strode to the iron bars and held Baya's hand. He asked worriedly, "Why are you here? Did you go to see Su Jiran? Or did Su Jiran look for you? Did you agree to his conditions?" "I asked Su Jiran to see you. There are some things I want to figure out." "Lingqing, what's going on with the firearms under that piece of land?" Baya asked. "I think Su Jiran knew that I requisitioned that piece of land in advance. He buried the firearms there to frame me. Is there any evidence to prove your innocence?" Baya's eyes flickered. Gu Lingqing was silent. After 15 seconds, he said, "I'm innocent. I have a clear conscience." Baya understood. In this world, right and wrong, true and false, it was not up to the innocent to prove their innocence. It was up to others to judge. If others thought you were innocent, you would be released even if you did something bad. If others thought you were guilty, you would be sentenced even if you had a clear conscience. Chapter 251. Baya's lips curled into a sinister smile. The way he looked at Gu Lingqing was as cold as December. "You're saying that you're dead, right?" Gu Lingqing looked at Baya's expression in surprise. It was too strange and horrifying. It made one's hair stand on end. He didn't understand and shouted, "Baya!" Baya sneered and raised his chin. "It's really not easy to ruin your reputation and die a horrible death." Gu Lingqing's heart sank. He sized up Baya. "What do you mean by that?" The feeling Baya gave him now was as if he had become another person. It was very unfamiliar. This person seemed to have come from hell. Baya looked at Gu Lingqing coldly. There was no warmth in his eyes. "Gu Lingqing, the explosion 3 years ago didn't kill you. 3 years later, you still died in my hands. You arranged the explosion 3 years ago." Gu Lingqing felt that it was unbelievable. He didn't believe it at all. "Ha!" Baya laughed at himself. "How could I have that kind of ability? I only told them that you're a soldier pretending to be an arms dealer. Do you think they'll let you live? Unfortunately, you're really lucky. You didn't die. Every day I was abroad, I was thinking about how to kill you. You have too much power. Your father has too much power. It's hard to kill you. I could only come to your side. Do you know how disgusting I was to have sex with you?" Baya said angrily. He widened his eyes and clenched his fists. The veins on his neck were popping. "You hate me." This knowledge shocked Gu Lingqing. "Why?" "Of course I hate you. You raped me on the eve of my wedding. My marriage was ruined because of you. My mother was also sent to the mental hospital because of you. My husband, the man I love, tortured me in every way possible during the 3 years of marriage because of you. Every pain I suffered was caused by you. Did you see that?" Baya raised his hand. His little finger was missing. It was round and extremely ugly. "This is also because of you. How much I hate you and your parents. When I left here 3 years ago, I wanted to destroy the Gu family's reputation and make you die a horrible death. You're lying, right? If you hate me, why did you marry me? Why did you give birth to my child?" Gu Lingqing didn't believe it. Wasn't that little finger the symbol of their love? "You're the one who forced me to marry you. You're so powerful, do you think I have the ability to struggle?" I had already struggled and asked Su Jiran to destroy the marriage certificate, but you still registered me on the marriage certificate. Do you know how angry I was at that moment? If you didn't force me like this, I wouldn't have thought of such a good idea and finally set you up. As for the child. Bai Ye's eyes reddened as guilt flashed through her eyes. She couldn't feel guilty. With how smart Gu Lingqing was, he would be able to tell even the slightest difference between her and him. Bai Ye clenched his fists tightly. That child called Xiao Tian is a chess piece I set up. He's not your child at all. He's an orphan who underwent plastic surgery to look like you and me at the same time. Gu Lingqing furrowed his brows and scrutinized Bai Ye. He gripped the metal bars, wanting to get closer to Bai Ye and see the traces of lies on her face. But she didn't. What she said seemed to be true. He didn't want to go into details. If it's really as you said, why didn't you go with Su Jiran when he looked for you? That's because he's still bothered by the fact that I was tainted by you. He promised me that as long as we work together to bring you down, I can go to his side, Bai Ye shouted. Cracks finally appeared in Gu Lingqing's eyes. Her eyes flickered and she couldn't stay calm anymore. So, Xiao Tian is fake, the treasure is fake, and your love for me is even more fake. How can I love an enemy? Of course, the treasure is fake too. How could an unknown businessman know about the information about the treasure? I'm just setting you up. What about your jealousy towards Shou Hailan? Is it also a pretense? Gu Lingqing questioned. If I didn't pretend, how would you believe that I love you? Hee hee, hee hee hee. Bai Ye laughed wildly. She laughed so hard that her tears were almost coming out. Gu Lingqing, you're so stupid. You're as stupid as a pig. You deserve to be disgraced and die without a burial ground for messing with a woman like me. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. Bai Ye laughed crazily. She turned around and turned her back to Gu Lingqing. Her tears kept flowing. Gu Lingqing was indeed disgraced because he provoked her. She couldn't let this happen. She knew that when she stabbed Gu Lingqing's heart with a sharp knife, she also cut off all the love between her and Gu Lingqing. From now on, Gu Lingqing would only have hatred for her and no love. This was also good. When she died 3 months later, he wouldn't feel sad. On the contrary, he would feel refreshed. She had done everything she could. Looking at Bai Ye's back, Gu Lingqing clenched his fists tightly. His eyes became colder and colder than before, like a block of ice. Underneath the calm exterior, there was a torn heart and severe pain. He was really stupid. He actually gave his heart to her completely without any defense. If he had wanted to do a DNA test with Xiao Tian, he wouldn't have been put on the list in the military. If he could verify the authenticity of that piece of land, he wouldn't have been set up so easily. For the first time in his life, he trusted someone, but he was hurt badly by this person. It was so painful. He deserved it. You came here to tell me the truth, didn't you? Gu Lingqing said coldly. His chest was moving up and down violently. His body was already filled with turbulent waves. Bai Ye wiped her tears, brewed her emotions, and became cold. She turned around and faced Gu Lingqing. She took out the agreement and a pen from her bag and handed them to Gu Lingqing. Sign it, the divorce agreement. Gu Lingqing slapped away Bai Ye's hand angrily. The force was so strong that a handprint immediately appeared on Bai Ye's arm. Get lost, Gu Lingqing said sternly. If you don't want your parents to be implicated by you, you'd better sign it. Otherwise, I'll let your parents go to hell with you, Bai Ye threatened. Do you hate me that much? You've hurt me before and you've completely forgotten about it. Of course I hate you. You've raped me more than once or twice. Because of you, I lost my mother, my husband, and my job. Even if I escaped to another city, you still followed me. You're the one who forced me to live. Baiya accused sharply. If I sign it, will you let my parents go? Gu Lingqing gritted his teeth and asked. Chapter 252. I will die soon. You can still go to his side and live a happy life. Gu Lingqing said coldly, staring at Baiya. She still didn't look at him. Without this divorce agreement, when you die, I can only be your wife, Gu Lingqing. I don't want to carry this title. Indeed. If I keep a person who hates me to the bone, I will be a fool. Gu Lingqing took the agreement and the pen from Baiya's hand. Baiya saw him sign the 3 words Gu Lingqing on the agreement. His handwriting was still beautiful, upright, and smooth. Baiya turned her face away. The mist had already filled the air. Once, she tried her best to get married. Today, this love was destroyed by her own hands. Gu Lingqing threw the pen and the agreement on the ground and said coldly, "You can get out now. There is another agreement. Please sign it." Baiya handed the marriage agreement between him and Zhou Hailan to Gu Lingqing. Gu Lingqing took the agreement from Baiya. Looking at the words on it, his eyes were burning. He looked at Baiya very uncalmly. "What does this mean?" "I am afraid that you will harass me in the future, so I left a guarantee." Gu Lingqing was so angry that he threw the agreement on Baiya's face. "I am going to die here. Didn't you arrange it? Do you think it is necessary for me to sign the marriage agreement with Zhou Hailan?" Baiya said expressionlessly. "I don't want to take it lightly until the last moment. Your family is too powerful. What if you are accidentally rescued? Even if I'm rescued, I can marry whoever I want. It has nothing to do with you, as long as it's not you. You can leave now, I don't want to see you again." Gu Lingqing turned around. "I advise you to sign the contract. Your child with Zhou Hailan is still in my hands. I can kill you at any time," Baiya said cruelly. Gu Lingqing threw himself at the iron bars. The iron bars were hit, creating a loud noise. "Baiya, do you really want me to see your cruelty and bloodthirst? You are going to die anyway. No matter how much I expose myself in front of you, it doesn't matter. After signing the agreement, you will be able to leave in peace," Baiya said coldly. Gu Lingqing glared at her. She knew that if she continued to avoid his gaze, it would only make her look guilty. She lifted her head and looked straight at him. The two of them stared at each other for a minute. "Give me the agreement," Gu Lingqing ordered. Baiya picked up the agreement and pen on the ground and handed them to Gu Lingqing. "You better not let me out, otherwise, I will make your life worse than death," Gu Lingqing said maliciously. Baiya stared at Gu Lingqing. She didn't plan to live for long. After helping Tang Xiaozhou find the murderer of the village, she would go abroad, find a place where no one knew her and found her, and die quietly. She couldn't bear the cruelty of this world, and she didn't want to. "If you want to deal with me, you better stand at the top, otherwise, you will die again," Baiya said coldly. Gu Lingqing threw the agreement on the ground, turned around, and faced her back. Baiya picked up the 2 agreements and put them in her bag. She looked back at Gu Lingqing for the last time, and the corners of her mouth turned up slightly. Tears rolled down her face. "Gu Lingqing, I hope that we will never meet again in this life." She turned around and walked out of the room. Su Jiran came out of the surveillance room and stood in front of Baiya. "Well done, I almost believed you." Baiya passed the agreement to Su Jiran. "Remember, let him out tomorrow." "Do you think I will let him out after I get what I want?" Su Jiran said evilly, insolent and reckless. Baiya had already expected this result. Su Jiran would go back on his words. Even if she took the risk of being cheated, she still came. If she didn't come, Gu Lingqing would definitely die. If she came, Gu Lingqing would still have a chance to live. As long as Gu Lingqing doesn't die, I will stay by your side and tell you the secret of the treasure. If Gu Lingqing dies, I will die with him and bring the secret of the treasure to hell, Bai said indifferently as she looked at the air. That piece of land is where the treasure is hidden. So Gu Lingqing requisitioned that piece of land. Su Jiran heard this from the surveillance room. Where did you get the treasure? Let him go, and you will know. Bai walked past him and went upstairs. When she went upstairs, Su Jiran's men put a blindfold on her. Bai stood still. Su Jiran held her arm and walked forward. His men opened the car door, and Bai got in. Stay at my place tonight? Su Jiran asked. Bai twitched the corner of her mouth. Aren't you worried that I will kill you? If you kill me, no one will help you save Gu Lingqing. Before Gu Lingqing is saved, you won't kill me, Su Jiran said with certainty. She was not stupid. If she went to Su Jiran's place, it was obvious what he would ask her to do. She did not want to give herself to him. Before you save Gu Lingqing, I will not contact you again. Let me out of the car, Bai said coldly. Su Jiran took off Bai's blindfold, leaned forward, and put one hand on the side of her head. I can do whatever I want to you now. You can't resist at all, can you? Is there a difference between a woman's body to you? You want my heart, don't you? Bai looked at him coldly. Su Jiran held her chin and moved his handsome face closer. Will you give me your heart? I gave it to you before. Bai did not deny it. Su Jiran paused. He looked into Bai's eyes, and a complicated look flashed through his eyes. But you're giving it to Gu Lingqing now. Do you think it's possible for me and Gu Lingqing to be together? Bai retorted with hatred. Su Jiran's eyes flickered, and he let go of her. That's right. You can only live if you follow me. Your body can only be mine. I'm not afraid of a long time. I have plenty of time to wait. Accompanying you for a lifetime is also the longest confession. The way we love each other is different. Your love is to dominate, like a child playing with a toy. My love is to fulfill. So, we are destined to be different kinds of people, Bai said in a low voice. I'll leave after I fulfill your wish. You will never see me again, and you will never be able to stay by my side. Su Jiran was a little emotional. Forget it. There are always strong people in this world, including women. Get out of the car. Don't do anything that you will regret. I can let Gu Lingqing go, and I can also capture Gu Lingqing. Su Jiran gestured for the driver to stop the car. Bai opened the door and got out of the car. She looked at the boundless night sky. It was so dark that she could not see where she was going. She seemed to have nowhere to go, so she found a hotel nearby to stay. Chapter 253. That night, Bai didn't sleep again. Her heart was aching. She had been studying the diary that Qin Wei's father gave her. There were a lot of details recorded in the diary, but it didn't say in detail where the treasure was. She felt that Qin Wei's father had found the location of the treasure, but he didn't want to say it. After all, it was her painstaking effort, and she didn't want to waste it. So, Qin Wei's father gave her the diary, but he didn't mention the name. He just wanted to let it go. Bai studied until 9 o'clock in the morning. Maybe it was because she didn't sleep well for the past few days, or maybe it was because she was injected with the virus, but her heart was aching. She put the diary in her bag, walked to the window, and looked outside. It was sunny and windy outside. It looked like a bright and beautiful day. She didn't know if Gu Lingqing could be released under such good weather. Her phone rang. She saw that it was Su Jiran and answered it. If I let Gu Lingqing out, will you stay by my side with all your heart? Su Jiran wanted to confirm this one last time. Of course, I have nowhere to go. In order to make my lie believable, I have to stay by your side, Baiya said coldly. He will be released in the morning. Baiya, don't do anything that you will regret. Otherwise, I won't let you go next time. Su Jiran warned sternly and hung up the phone. Did she get Su Jiran's promise? Baiya's heart, which had been tangled for the whole night, could finally calm down. She put the phone on the bedside table and lay down on the bed. She closed her eyes. She was so sleepy that she fell asleep after a while. She was woken up by the ringing of her phone. Baiya looked at the time. It was 15:00 in the afternoon. She looked at the caller ID, and it was still Su Jiran. She answered the phone with a headache. What's wrong? Where is he? Gu Lingqing has been released. Su Jiran said coldly. Oh, his matters have nothing to do with me in the future. You don't need to tell me. I still need to sleep. I'll contact you when I wake up. Where are we going to sleep? Do you want me to accompany you? Su Jiran said evilly. Baiya could tell that he was teasing her. I'm not joking with you. Let's talk again at 17:00. I'll treat you to dinner. After Baiya finished speaking, he didn't give Su Jiran any chance to speak and hung up the phone. He continued to lie on the bed in a daze for a while, but he couldn't sleep anymore. She wanted to find the murderer of the village as soon as possible. She got up and walked into the bathroom to take a shower. After changing into a dry striped shirt, she casually wiped her wet hair with a towel and walked out. There was a knock on the door. Who? Baiya asked. I'm cleaning the guest room. The waiter's voice came through. Wait. Baiya opened the door. The waiter looked to the side. Su Jiran walked over with a bouquet of roses and handed it to Baiya. A devilish smile appeared on his face. You know, even if you hide at the ends of the earth, I can still find you. What about hiding in hell? Do you dare to go with me? Baiya asked back. Her eyes were cold, as if they were laced with poison. It was extremely cold. If you go to hell, I'll follow you there. If you go to heaven, I'll kill a god. Are you satisfied with this answer? Su Jiran asked. He walked past Baiya and went to her room. He casually threw the flowers on the coffee table and leaned against the sofa lazily. He looked at Baiya coldly and ordered. Baiya didn't close the door. She sat opposite Su Jiran. About the treasure, tell me about it. Don't try to lie to me. Su Jiran warned. 3 years ago, Gu Lingqing and I went to Tangshan village and found Tang Xiaojiu, the person who killed Governor Qing. He told me a secret. Back then, 5 people massacred his entire village just for a treasure and a treasure map. That piece of land is the place where the treasure is hidden. Su Jiran didn't believe it. I guess so. I know a person who massacred the entire village. He owns a construction company and wants to buy that piece of land. So I told Gu Lingqing to buy that piece of land. As for whether that piece of land is the place where the treasure is hidden, I'm not completely sure, Baiya said. Half. She hid half of it and wouldn't tell Su Jiran everything. The person you're talking about is in Luliang City. Su Jiran was doubtful. Yes. Baiya didn't deny it. No wonder Gu Lingqing is investigating Luliang City. I know. Su Jiran stood up. I'll bring you to buy some clothes and find a beauty salon to do your face. You're almost 30, so you should take good care of yourself. Bai Ye looked down. She was only 27 years old this year. She was not even 30 yet. Did it count as an untimely death? Okay, I also have something to discuss with you. Bai Ye was easy to talk to. Su Jiran put his arm around Bai Ye's waist and pulled her to his side. He looked at her with a burning gaze. What do you want to discuss with me? I have a project that I want to continue. In about 3 months, I've accepted a month's worth of money from others. Bai Ye said softly. Because she needed his help, she didn't struggle to push him away for the first time. Su Jiran didn't say anything. He gently moved the hair in front of Bai Ye's forehead to one side. He lowered his head and kissed Bai Ye's forehead. Isn't this good? We can talk and get along with each other calmly. Life will pass very quickly. So, do you agree or not? Bai Ye stared at him and asked. Bai Ye, I really don't want you to have any crooked ideas anymore. Su Jiran rejected her tactfully. I'm not having crooked ideas. It's just that I've already promised someone and accepted their money. Isn't going back on your word something you always do? You can just return the money. If it's not enough, you can ask me for more. Su Jiran laughed as if he had seen through her. Bai Ye was helpless. Give me 3 months. I'll work on this project. When I come back after 3 months, I can live as a married couple. Su Jiran's eyes flashed with ecstasy. His heart was beating wildly. The temptation of living as a married couple with him was too great for him. Are you serious? Su Jiran couldn't believe it. I don't need to lie to you. If I go back on my word after 3 months, you can just use force. I won't be able to escape from your palm, right? Bai Ye negotiated rationally. She would die after 3 months. She wasn't afraid of Su Jiran using force at all. Su Jiran looked at Bai Ye's determined gaze. He asked suspiciously, have you really thought it through? You'll be with me in the future. It's not that I've thought it through. I'm just helpless and powerless. Su Jiran's gaze turned cold. At least you know what's good for you. Let's go. Chapter 254. Bai Ye shuddered and turned around instinctively. Su Jiran grabbed her arm and didn't let her go. Bai Ye suddenly felt the pressure on her body. She didn't want to face Gu Lingqing, nor did she want to face Gu Lingqing's family. She could imagine what they would say about her. She was afraid that she would act up on the spot. She cared about her reputation, very, very much. She looked at Su Jiran with pleading eyes and shook her head. Her body was trembling. Let me go. Not only did Su Jiran not let her go, he even hugged her shoulders and went into the den together. She had nowhere to retreat. Her face was pale and she clenched her fists tightly. Bai Ye, please don't act up. She didn't want to be treated as a lunatic, especially in public. She was so scared. It was as if she was the only one in this world, facing the raging waves and no one would save her. The longer she stayed there, the more panic she felt. She couldn't bear the strong psychological pressure and would rather run away. She tried to retreat, but Su Jiran was too strong. She couldn't break free at all and was forcefully pushed to the front. She lowered her eyes and didn't dare to look at anyone. Gu Lingqing, the innocent will know. I believe you can definitely come out, Su Jiran said. Gu Lingqing's sharp eyes glanced at Bai Ye. Bai Ye lowered her eyes. She couldn't hear, couldn't see, and didn't want to feel. Just like that, she slowly emptied her mind. Our Lingqing is definitely innocent. It's just that some people are greedy for wealth and profit. Did they make a mistake? This result is good, very good, Song Shiyu said. Baya, what's wrong with you? You are with me, Su Jiran again. Su Shaoling said in surprise, looking at the hatred in Gu Lingqing's eyes. She could not see it clearly. Xiong Daini also noticed that Su Jiran was holding Baya's shoulder. She was no longer calm. She pointed at Baya's nose and scolded, "What's going on? This pair of broken shoes, one moment she's with this man, the next moment she's with that man, the next moment, she's so cheap that everyone already knows. If you want her to be your wife, just pretend that I didn't, you son." Mom, you've misunderstood Xiaoya. She has always loved me. Su Jiran smiled evilly and tightened his grip on Baya's hand. Baya snapped out of his daze and looked at Su Jiran. She hadn't heard a single word of what they had said just now. His heart skipped a beat. Could it be that she was already like her mother, unable to sense what was happening outside? She had to leave. She could not stay here. I still have something to do. I want to leave first. Xiaoya, don't be afraid. You are my woman. I will protect you. These people will always see you. Running away is not a solution. Su Jiran smiled. But she felt that her smile was like a knife. Jiran, are you crazy? You still want this kind of woman? Xiong Daini was very agitated. Mom, Xiaoya really loves me. I am very sure now that I promised her to stay by my side. I don't want to go back on my words. Don't target Xiaoya in the future. You are embarrassing me by targeting her, Su Jiran said directly to Xiong Daini. Xiong Daini was speechless, but she was still very angry. She picked up the red wine on the table and splashed it on Baya's face. B*TCH, how dare you come here? Mom. If you embarrass her, you are embarrassing me. Su Jiran went to get a napkin to wipe Baya's face. Baya saw their disdainful gazes. She did not dare to look at Gu Lingqing. If she acted up here, they would definitely despise and disgust her even more. They might even lock her up in a mental hospital. Sorry, I have to go, Baya said in a trembling voice. She turned and ran forward quickly. She was afraid that Su Jiran would catch up to her and she would embarrass herself. She kept on running, from day to night, from night to day, from day to night, from night to day, from day to night, and from night to day again. Beep, beep, beep. The loudspeaker beeped very loudly. Baya came to her senses and looked at the huge truck that was coming towards her. She stood there without moving. The truck stopped 10 centimeters away from her. The driver scolded, "Are you crazy? Do you want to die? Can't you hear how many times I honked the horn? If you don't want to live, go jump into the river. Why are you trying to harm me?" I'm sorry, Baya said softly. The truck driver jumped down from the truck and looked at Baya from head to toe. His eyes flashed with a devious light. Where are you going? Why are you here alone? Baya could tell that he was up to no good. I'm here to visit my relatives. I have an appointment with them. It's just up ahead. Your relatives aren't coming to pick you up. It's dangerous for a girl like you to be outside. Where is your relative's house? Let me send you there, the truck driver said as he came over to hold Baya's hand. Baya pushed the driver's hand away defensively. Don't touch me. I don't need you to send me. I've already called my relatives. They'll come and pick me up immediately. The truck driver saw that there was no one around and forcefully carried Baya. Baya grabbed the side of the truck and did not let the driver bring her up. Help! 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 Baya shouted. A car stopped in front of Baya. Don't bother. This is a matter between us. No one is to interfere, the truck driver shouted fiercely at the driver. I'm not his wife. He kidnapped me halfway. Ask him if he knows my name, Baya said anxiously. The driver got out of the car and said to the truck driver, I'm a police officer. Are you two husband and wife? What's your relationship? Come with me to the police station. When the truck driver saw that the police were here, he quickly pushed Baya away, climbed into the car and ran away. Baya was pushed to the ground. The driver wanted to take a picture of the truck driver's license plate. However, it was all gray and he couldn't see anything. Are you okay? The driver asked. Baya shook her head. I'm fine. Thank you for saving me. Baya wanted to take out her name card. She realized that she didn't even have her bag anymore. Her phone, identification, and wallet were all in the bag. However, she couldn't remember how the bag disappeared. Her condition seemed to be getting worse. She was really afraid that she wouldn't be able to hold on for 3 months. She didn't want to be like her mother. She ate, drank, and defecated on the bed. People even peeped at her through the glass window. She didn't want to live anymore. Tang Xiaojiu, the massacre case, the treasure map. She didn't have the ability to deal with them. She couldn't even deal with her own matters. She was like a lone star. Whoever got close to her would be unlucky. Pretty lady, can you hear me? The driver shouted. Chapter 255. The driver noticed the change in Baya's expression. You don't have to thank me. It's nothing. Where is your family? Do you remember their phone number? Let me make a call for you. Family. Baya repeated the word. Her parents were still alive, but she could not contact them. Her husband, or rather, her ex-husband, could not be contacted either. She seemed to have no family. Thank you for your kindness, but I can handle it myself. Thank you very much, Baya said with a smile. Where are you going? Let me send you there. The driver was worried about a woman like her in the wilderness. Is Jinyuan City far from here? Baya asked. Not far. It's about an hour's drive. I'm going back to Jinyuan City anyway. Let me send you there, the driver said. Thank you. Baya nodded. The driver opened the door. Baya got into the car and looked out of the window. It turned out that when she was crazy, she also wanted to go to Jinyuan City. Her illness was not light at all. May I know what day is it today? Baya asked softly. The driver looked at Baya with a strange expression. Sunday. That meant she had been out for 3 days. 3 days, but she could not remember what she had done. She could not afford to be agitated any further. Otherwise, she would not be able to do what she wanted to do if her illness continued for a few more days. No one would have guessed that a famous psychologist was a lunatic herself. Perhaps she was a lunatic herself. That was why she had an easier time in the field of psychology than others. The driver looked at Baya in a daze. You are penniless, and you have lost your phone. Do you really not need me to make a call for you? Baya looked at the driver. I have a friend in Jinyuan City. I don't remember his number, but I know where to find him. All right then. The car soon arrived at Jinyuan City. Where is your friend's house? Let me send you there, the driver said kindly. Inchin Village. The exact location is about 500 meters behind the shopping center, Baya recalled. As soon as you say the shopping center, I know where it is. The driver kindly sent Baya to Chin Wei's house. The door of Chin Wei's house was closed. Baya knocked on the door for a while, but no one answered. Is no one home? The driver asked, why don't I book a hotel for you? You can check in first and wait for your friend to come back. No need. Can you send me to the nearby police station? They should have my friend's number with them. Baiya was actually embarrassed that he kept troubling others. Police station. Well, it seems like I have to report to the old bureau chief in advance. Baiya was surprised. Are you really a police officer? I thought you said that to scare the truck driver. The driver smiled. Right now, I don't think so. My name is Chin Bin. Let's go. I'll take you to the police station. Baiya went to the police station. A lot of people at the police station knew her. Expert Bai, why are you here? A policeman asked. I went back to City A and my bag was stolen. My mobile phone and ID are all in it. I want to get the mobile phone number of my friend, who is Chen Wei's ex-boyfriend. He should have registered his mobile phone number, Baiya explained softly. Yes. Expert Bai, please wait. I'll go check it now. The policeman enthusiastically left. Do you still remember where your bag was stolen? Chen Bin asked with concern. Baiya shook her head. I don't remember. I'll wait until I get in touch with my friend. Okay. Sorry for troubling you today. Can you give me your number? Baiya smiled. The smile was very faint. It was just a courtesy. Chen Bin wrote his number on the paper and passed it to Baiya. Baiya took it. When the bureau chief heard that Baiya had arrived, he specially came out to welcome her. When he saw Chen Bin, his eyes lit up. Deputy Secretary Chen, it's an honor to meet you. Why are you here? I took a month's leave, Chen Bin said politely. I received news that I'll retire in a month and you'll come back to take over my position. Is this true? The bureau chief asked. The transfer order hasn't come out yet. I don't know either. If there's any news, I'll inform you immediately, Chen Bin said politely. All right, I'll treat you to a meal. The bureau chief held Chen Bin's hand and looked at Baiya. I didn't expect Expert Bai to come back. I hope you can come back more often. Our police station will definitely cooperate with you. Baiya just nodded and didn't say anything. Expert Bai, I found it. The policeman ran over and passed the note to Baiya. Thank you. Baiya dialed the number on her phone. Hello. Ching Jinrong's voice came from the other end of the phone. Hello, I'm Baiya. I'm at the police station now. Can you come over? My bag, phone, and identification are all missing. I might have to trouble you for a few days, Baiya explained. Wait for me for half an hour. I'll come over now. Ching Jinrong hung up the phone and stood up. He said to the conference room, meeting adjourned. He picked up his suit and ran out while putting it on. Baiya sat in the reception room and waited. Chen Bin poured her a cup of hot tea. The bureau chief told me about your deeds just now. I even baidu you. So you're a famous psychologist. Nice to meet you. If it weren't for you, this psychologist would probably be reported to the higher-ups soon. The importance of mental and physical strength, Baiya said jokingly. Chen Bin also laughed. Half an hour later. Ching Jinrong came over and said with concern, Why are you in such a sorry state? But I'm very happy that you called me. Let's go. You don't have an identification card, so you might not be able to stay in the hotel. Stay at my house for now. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Since your identification card has been changed, you'll have to go to the local police station to get a new one. I'll see if I can get your information and get a temporary identification card. You can also get a bank card or something, Chen Bin said warmly. Baiya smiled. In this world, there were more good people than bad. Thank you. I'll treat you to a meal after I get a new bank card. Okay. I'll wait for your call, Chinbin said with a smile. Ching Jinrong took another look at Chinbin. In the car. You don't have a change of clothes now, right? I'll take you to the nearby shopping center to buy some, Ching Jinrong said carefully. Thank you. Ching Jinrong smiled. You've thanked me many times today. It's what I should do. This is just a small matter. Are you going to visit Governor Lu's house in Jinyuan City this time? Or are you going back to a city? Bai shook her head. I want to rest for a day or two. All right. I'll take you around Jinyuan City. By the way, aren't you going to be a tutor at Governor Lu's house? I've found a house near his house. It's convenient for you to go there. Chapter 256. The night had arrived. Bai stood by the window and looked at the stars outside. In her understanding, the reason why people worked hard to live was not because they wanted to enjoy themselves every day. Most of the time, it was because of a responsibility. Worried that if she died, she would not be able to fulfill her filial duties. Worried that if she died, what would happen to her child? Worried that if she died, how would her partner continue to live? As for her, she had her parents. Her father's family had nothing to do with her anymore. She had already made arrangements for her mother. At least, she could live a carefree life in the sanatorium. She had a child, but this child might have died a few years ago. Even if he did not die, she would not be able to find him. She once had a partner. Now, Gu Lingqing hated her to the core. She had someone to accompany her until she died. She also hated Su Jiran to the core. She hoped that they would never meet again in this life. Now, she had two responsibilities. One, she promised LV Xingzhou to take care of his child. She had already received the money. The second was to find the murderer of Tangqian village. As for finding the murderer of Tangqian village, she probably could not do it. Sorry, Tang Xiaojiu. Even if she could not do it, she did not want to live anymore. As for Lu Shuang, she had also thought that she would disappear and not let them know that she was dead. She had walked around the world once. There was more sadness than happiness. The pain in her heart was already unbearable. That was why her illness was getting worse. She was a hedgehog. Even if she knew that she was sick, she still tried hard not to let others know. She did not want others to look down on her. She did not want others to pity her. She did not want others to talk about her illness behind her back. She could not afford to lose face. Knock, knock, knock. There was a knock on the door. Bai turned around and opened the door. Ching Jinrong stood at the door. Can I talk to you? I have been in a bad mood recently. Chen Wei's parents moved away. I think they will never forgive me. If they never forgive you, what will you do? Bai asked softly. I don't know what to do. It's all my fault. Ching Jinrong said guiltily. There are many couples in the world who get together and then break up, and then find a new boyfriend and girlfriend. Yang Ni's character is just an example. The choice you made in Fuchin was not wrong. If you can feel guilty and blame yourself, it means that you are a responsible person who can change and improve. Let me ask you, if Chen Wei's parents don't forgive you, what would they want you to do? Bai asked back. They probably moved away because they didn't want to see me. Ching Jinrong lowered his eyes gloomily. You're right. Many people feel that they're in the wrong, so they want others to forgive them. The one who died was their own daughter, so it's impossible to forgive them. Why force others to do something that's beyond their control? If you think you're wrong, you should do what they want you to do. That's what you should do, understand? Baya asked. You mean, if I don't go see them and ask for their forgiveness, I'll disappear and not let them see me? Ching Jinrong asked, confused. Firstly, although you have your reasons for this matter, it's not the deciding factor. Secondly, we shouldn't blindly think about what we want in order to obtain others' forgiveness, but we should think about what others want. Until one day, when they want to forgive you, they will contact you. So, in order for them to be able to contact you, you must live well and live healthily. Baya suggested. I understand. Listening to you, I have a feeling of enlightenment. Ching Jinrong praised. Dong dong dong. A knocking sound came from the door. Ching Jinrong looked out from the peephole and saw a man with a strong aura. He opened the door in confusion. Let Baya out. Gu Lingqing directly ordered. Ching Jinrong looked at Gu Lingqing suspiciously. Baya heard Gu Lingqing's voice and subconsciously came out of the room. You, go out first. Gu Lingqing ordered Ching Jinrong. Ching Jinrong felt that Gu Lingqing was too intimidating. He had a charisma that made people submit to him. He looked at Baya and asked for Baya's opinion. Baya didn't want to see Gu Lingqing, but Ching Jinrong wasn't his match. She would only drag Ching Jinrong down. She nodded at Ching Jinrong. Ching Jinrong went out. Baya lowered her eyes and shivered a few times. She couldn't be as crazy as the last time. What does this mean? Gu Lingqing questioned and threw the diary in front of Baya. Baya didn't understand. Why is this diary with you? Didn't you send it to me? Don't play dumb. I went to the post office to check the surveillance cameras. It was you who sent it. You threw the bag into the bin after sending it, Gu Lingqing questioned sternly. Then where is my bag now? Baya asked. Gu Lingqing looked at her with a burning gaze and narrowed his eyes. Baya, what the hell are you doing? How did you find me? Baya asked, skipping over Gu Lingqing's question. You turned off your phone and lost your bag because you didn't want me to find you. Then you shouldn't have appeared in Jinyuan. Jinyuan set up a trap for me. Tell me, what do you want? Gu Lingqing said sternly. She didn't know what the irrational Baya wanted to do. She had no impression of what he said. No matter what I did, you ignored it. Don't bother. If you want to hate me and deal with me, come at me, Baya said resolutely. Gu Lingqing grabbed Baya's shoulder and pushed her against the wall. He looked at her with bloodshot eyes. If I wanted to deal with you, you should have died the day I came out. Let me ask you, did you and Su Jiran come to some agreement? He asked you to divorce me and then let me go, right? Baya's eyes suddenly trembled. She was really grateful and glad that Gu Lingqing still believed in her until now. With his trust, she could die without regrets. However, she was very sick now. She didn't want to be a burden to him anymore. She didn't want him to be criticized behind his back because of her and ruin his bright future. Moreover, her life was in Su Jiran's hands. She didn't want to become his weakness and let Su Jiran hurt him as he pleased. Gu Lingqing, don't be silly. If what you said is true and you came out now, why can't I be with you? Wake up. I'm really with Su Jiran now. There's no turning back. He must have threatened you with something. What is it? Our child. Or something else? Tell me. Believe me, no matter what the problem is, I can solve it. With every sentence that Gu Lingqing said, his grip on her shoulder tightened. She believed in his ability. So, between the child and him, she still chose him. However, it wasn't something that could be solved with his ability. No one would ever cure her illness. You're tuning into the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.